She says the meeting needs to start over.
And unfortunately for us, post the meeting, we had to come and address the people outside. And the people outside who are e-hailers themselves are disputing that the leadership that we were meeting, that they are not their leaders, they were not representing them. So it means we must go back to the drawing board.
New representatives have gone to meet with the MEC. Jabuli Limbata, Eyewitness News, Soweto.
Johannesburg Mayor Dada Morero has established a disciplinary board to probe allegations of financial misconduct in the metro. This follows revelations that the municipality incurred more than 23 billion rand in wasteful expenditure in the 2023-2024 financial year. Earlier this month, Finance Minister Enoch Godongwana wrote a scathing letter to Morero, urging him to get the city's finances in order. Speaking at a media briefing in Johannesburg today, Morero responded to Godongwana's letter. Alpha Ramushwana reports.
Johannesburg Mayor Dada Morero says the city's 23 billion rand unauthorized, fruitless and wasteful expenditure has been steadily increasing over the past few years. He adds that a significant portion of this irregular spending stems from the procurement of goods and services without adhering to supply chain regulations. Following Finance Minister Enoch Godongwana's criticism that there appears to be no consequence management for financial misconduct in the city, Morero has now appointed a disciplinary board to tackle the misuse of public funds.
The disciplinary board has already concluded preliminary investigation of 6 matters totaling 535 million and will report the outcomes of the council as it sits in the next ordinary meeting.
Godongwana had threatened to cut grant funding to the city unless Morero gets his house in order. Alpha Ramshwana, Eyewitness News, Johannesburg.
In the courts now, lawyers representing murder-accused Gatiso Molefe have asked the Alexandra Magistrates Court to be guided by a High Court decision which granted him bail. Molefe returned to the court where he is charged in connection with the murders of 2 popular musicians. It's alleged that Molefe orchestrated the killings of Upa Sifuka, popularly known as DJ Sambodi, as well as Soweto's Hector Buthelezi, known as DJ Vintos. At the time of his arrest last month, he was already out on bail for another murder case. Khomoto Modise has more.
Gatiso Molefe's lawyer, Advocate Michael Helen, has repeatedly referred to a decision by Gauteng Acting Judge President Aubrey Ledwaba to grant him bail on appeal. But he says Magistrate Renier Boshoff is not bound by this decision.
No one should misunderstand. We are not saying for one second that judgment binds you at all. It's same personal circumstances, same crime, and same potential sentence, and you may be guided by it, but you're not bound by it.
Ledwaba made the decision to release Molefe on bail on new facts after the Vereniging Magistrates Court denied his request in his case where he's charged for the murder of engineer Armand Swart. Molefe's bail hearing has been postponed to next week for judgment. Khomza Modise, Eyewitness News in Alexandra.
To the Western Cape now, where members of the ad hoc committee investigating police corruption have raised concerns about the quality of legal advice that it will receive from Parliament. They are demanding Parliament's chief legal advisor be present at the meetings instead of deploying someone from her office. The committee held its second meeting today to finalise its terms of reference. These will guide the committee as it investigates allegations made by KZN Police Commissioner Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi. Babalondenze has more.
The ad hoc committee's second meeting got off to a rocky start, with members from most parties questioning the legal advice. Members also insisted that Parliament Chief Legal Advisor Zureya Adhikari be present after she missed the meeting of the Joint Committees of Police and Justice and the ad hoc committee's first meeting. Committee member Sibonelo Nomvalo says the senior legal advisor must handle the committee, questioning the standard of the advice they've received.
So that we do not get into a point where we get confused because of legal advices which are wrong.
ANC Chief Whip Mdumiseni Nduli agreed that the committee must be prioritized so it gets the best legal assistance.
I think the broader question that arises from the observation made by Honorable Nomvalo is the quality of the legal services that we are expecting.
Adhikari assured members that they are working as a team and one of the most efficient legal advisors has been deployed to the committee. Babalo Ndanza, Eyewitness News.
And an American fugitive who faked his death and fled to Britain to avoid prosecution for rape is now facing a potential life sentence. Nicholas Rossi was found guilty yesterday for the rape of a woman in Salt Lake County in 2008. Rossi was under investigation for credit card fraud when he faked his own death in 2020. He caught the attention of the British press in 2021 when he was arrested in the COVID ward of a hospital in Scotland. Staff recognized his mugshot from an Interpol wanted notice and reported him to police. The 38-year-old will be sentenced in October and faces between 5 years to life behind bars. Gold is trading at $3,356.63 an ounce. The rand is at 17.54 to the dollar, 23.83 to the pound, 20.52 to the euro, and Brent crude oil is at $65.63 a barrel.
In Edenvale, heading towards Bedfordview, slow-moving traffic on the R24 westbound between Edenvale Road and the Gilulis interchange, and in Santon, also bumper-to-bumper traffic on the M1 north from Grayston Drive to the Butlu interchange.
In your sport, Cedric Kaze insists that Kaizer Chiefs haven't arrived as they move joint top of the Betway Premiership. Australia's Mitchell Owen to miss the remainder of the white ball series against South Africa due to concussion. And Venus Williams handed a US Open wildcard at the age of 45.
It's a fine afternoon in Gauteng today. Temperatures have peaked at highs of 24 degrees. The top story in EWN this hour, Gauteng Transport MEC Gidiboni Diale-Tlhabela is going back to the drawing board after a failed meeting with industry leaders over violent clashes between taxi operators and e-hailing drivers in Soweto.
EWN, in touch, in tune and independent. For the latest, visit ewn.co.za or download the EWN app.
7:02
Live
on the Prime Media Plus app.
DSTV channel 856,
92.7
and 106 FM. Let's walk the talk.
Nine minutes after 3 o'clock. Thanks very much for joining us. You're on 702. My name is Thabo Shole Mashao. I'm in for John Perlman, and thanks very much for being with us. We're together till 6. I really appreciate your company. We've got quite a lot to go through today, and I look forward to engagement and to your wit that is ever so present every time I'm listening to John. And I also look forward to engagements as far as being honest, blunt, blatant is concerned, because we'll kick off the show first with the release of the terms of reference for the ad hoc committee investigating allegations that were made by Lieutenant Mkhwanazi. Baba Londenze will give us more on that as they prepare to kick off in Parliament. A little bit later on, the environmental impact of illegal tyre banning. The implications thereof, very serious, especially given that the winter season is just on the way out, and some will argue it's already out of the door. And Stokvels, these are economic clusters where communities bring themselves together to contribute periodically towards a cause. It could be the funeral, it could be holiday, property, or the other. Are we not really maximizing on the economic potential of Stokvels? We'll touch on that. The national dialogue has been at the center of many debates of late, and as John would say, he's very skeptical about it. I wonder if Bantu Holomisa is also skeptical, the Deputy Minister of Defense and Military Veterans, who will be joining us a little bit later on to give us his views as the convention for talks get underway. The taxi feud, Soweto, has been on fire from yesterday to today. Things are just not the same, especially around Maponya Mall. Give us a shout if you're that side. Tell us what's the latest. Between 5 and 6, we'll just try to zoom into that mini conflict. I don't want to minimize it by saying mini, because where people have died, one, it's just one too many. 11 after 3, good afternoon.
7:02
Let's walk the talk on 92.7
and 106 FM.
Indeed. I firstly, if you'd indulge me for a second or two, would like to reflect on the moment. Today we were burying one of 702's great producers, Ntateng Kehotsitse, and she was just an amazing producer. I remember my very first show on 702. She was the one to welcome me. I was standing in for Aubrey, and she was just very warm. Producers have a huge task, and you would understand why we are constantly paying tribute to her, because producers often work, live, and dwell in the shadows of a presenter. They try their best to make sure that the ultimate product comes out as clean as possible. They're the center, the heartbeat, the engine of the show. They don't get to get the credit they deserve. And so when one of our own has just passed on, it's only fair to pay tribute to her and to her family and to those of you who've been comforting us. And may Ntate's soul rest in peace. 12 minutes after 3.
Let's walk the talk.
702.
702 indeed. Welcome. I did share with you that Soweto seems to be on fire. We will be touching on that. Please feel free to give us the very latest. Don't wait for us to get to that point. At any given time, if you want to share anything with us regarding what's happening in Soweto, it could be that you are in and around that area. Let us know. We heard about a taxi vehicle that was put on fire not too long ago. We heard about the MEC visiting the area. We heard about the fury of the community, and some people have been saying that Maponya Mall needs to close down for a couple of days. I'm not sure if that's the right way to go about it, but maybe you know why. Feel free to interact with us on 072 702 1702 to send your voice notes and your text messages. However, if you want to interact with us directly, to call in the studio 011 883-0702, 011-883-0702. John may not be here, but the team is here. Karabo Charlie will be telling you the very latest, giving you the latest as far as traffic is concerned. And Karabo, the other Karabo, will be pressing the buttons. She's our technical expert, and she makes us all sound too good. And of course, you have heard from Refuwe many times before. She is a co-chef, a chief chef for putting everything else and the ingredients together on the show, the producer of the show. And they are all here. Hey, Refuwe, I hope you're good.
Tabo, did you just say Refuwe?
Refuwe.
Oh, I'm just making sure. No, my defenses were up.
Bachum.
Let me remember my manners.
Mean, shots are fired.
No,
I've just
remember
walked
my
in. Are you missing John already?
Good afternoon, John. Did that on purpose. Good afternoon, Tabo, and the rest of the 702 family. What's happening, Tabo?
Yeah. I hope you're good. Garabo, you good?
100%. And you, sir?
All good. Sure. Guys, I just wanted
Mm.
to ask you this before we even kick off the show officially. There are some people who speak and spit at the same time. I have to concede that I am one of those. I'm not as bad as I used to be. And there are some people perhaps who blink a lot when you're talking to them and they're speaking. So people have various idiosyncrasies. The people have various gestures that they do when they are talking. And some of them are very uncomfortable. It could be as well that people, when they speak, they have these things at the corners of their mouth, the white stuff. So my question is, how do you tell someone that your breath is not that great? That uncomfortable stuff about someone. How do I say to Refilwe, dress a little bit better when you come to work? You know, I'm not saying you dress horribly, Refilwe. I'm just saying, Jay, that maybe fashion police may be an issue next time you come around. But how do you tell someone, a colleague, a friend, a sibling, how do you tell them, hey, man, you're spitting in my face? Can't you speak with her? How do you handle the uncomfortable stuff? And how do you tell them? Or have you ever been told before that, hey, keep a bit of a distance, bruh. That's give us the news, not the weather.
I guess it depends on your relationship. I could easily say to my sisters, hey, chief, because I'm comfortable with them. They're my sisters. They're close. They understand me.
Yes.
I'm sure they'll be also comfortable saying, don't, like you say, don't give me the weather, give me the news, you know? So we're very chilled about it. But then maybe colleagues, it's a bit difficult because we are
So
colleagues,
he'll
not
be
that close.
spitting on you and you are standing there and you are even afraid to wipe it off.
That's me. I'm very bad when it comes to confronting people. It's not my best thing to do, I guess.
Yeah, Rifu?
For me, so it's a quick story. So I had a friend that always had visitors in her nose.
Oh, wow.
Every day.
Is that what they are called now?
No, I was being nice about it. I
Okay.
can't be like, oh, you've got boogers in your nose. She had visitors. So I decided, I was always telling her, hey, babes, check in your nose.
Yeah.
And one day I bought her a mirror and like some Kleenex. She never got the hint. And listen, that relationship went down south. But I think for me, it's always do it with kindness. You know, relationships are important, but I always say to my colleagues, if I've got an issue, please tell me nicely. Don't be like, no. If I've got dragon breath, find a way. Or for me, a mint. Or if we're really close, like, hey, man, dragon breath. You are slaying the dragon. You know, so I think it always depends. It's
on
approach.
the relationship. Yeah.
Approach.
Diplomacy. You must be careful of what you're saying and say it with kindness. And I suppose you don't want to say it in front of everyone because then that creates something
That's
else.
also true. Because the person then feels defensive. Imagine then I've got some visitors in my nose and we're in a staff meeting and you're like, we've got extra visitors that are unaccounted for. And now I feel embarrassed. I feel like you're trying to throw me under the bus or, pull me aside. I do agree with you though.
I mean, I'm a colleague. What if that person is your boss at work? Would you even risk your career to tell them that?
Maybe if they're visitors or those white stuff there, you just hint, you go, like with your...
But what if they don't get the hint? Because some people think you're just doing that out of fun. And you're scratching your head and you're pointing, but they don't get it.
Well. I'd love to hear from you. Perhaps you work with people and perhaps at home you have the situation or one of your friends or maybe they're not that close to you. How do you share with them? How do you tell them that, hey, the breath is not the best of all? And how do you also tell your colleague or even your boss that, boss, the corners of your mouth every time you speak, you need to check in with them? Do you do that? Have you done that? What happened? Were there any consequences? Did you lose the friendship after that? I'd love to hear from you 19 minutes after 3 o'clock. Something that I'd love to hear from you about is where are you and how's the traffic? And Karabo Chali will give us the very latest on the roads and the state thereof.
Yes, John, I was about to say.
Oh, wow.
Yes,
I'll just go home, okay? I'll just go home.
My bad. Yes, Thabo, at this stage, not looking too bad across most parts of 702 land. No serious accidents have been reported. However, traffic is already building up if you're driving through the Joburg CBD. That's coming from Parktown heading towards Boysons on the M1 southbound between Killarney Bends and the Crown Interchange, while in Santon also bumper-to-bumper traffic heading towards Midrand M1 North from Greyston Drive to the Batlu Interchange. In Edenvale, slow-moving traffic on the R24 westbound between Edenvale Road and the Gilulis Interchange, and in Soweto, Pinville. We've been talking about it in the news. Chris Honey Road remains closed off to traffic. This is opposite Maponya Mall due to the conflict between taxi drivers and e-hailing drivers. If you come across any other traffic issues, please WhatsApp us on 072 702 1702.
Clement Maniatella.
Weekday mornings,
9 to 12.
9 to 12.
We were having a conversation just now about this study by the Mapungube Institute for Strategic Reflection, which suggests that the ANC is likely to only retain the majority in the two provinces after the 2029 general elections. I mean, that's surely not surprising to you as the ANC.
Research is not immutable. Once you've heard research, don't be denialist about what it says. The question is, are we doing enough in order to change that trend so that we actually increase our support in all the provinces, including in Gauteng and in KZN?
Do you think you're doing enough? And is it even possible for the ANC to claw back that support?
I think we can claw back.
Dr. Malusi Gigaba.
Clements Maniatella.
9 to 12 on 702.
Ready to lead and make our world a better Better Place, Regenesis School of Education proudly launches its revolutionary Bachelor of Education program. They don't just develop teachers, they develop conscious leaders equipped with IQ, STEM, AI, and emotional intelligence. Study in the heart of Sandton or online worldwide with the world-class faculty trusted by over 1,000 corporations and 500,000 alumni from 150 countries. Enroll now at regenesis.net/education. Regenesis School of Education, awakening potential.
Brush, stroke, paint, color, protect, and admire. From roof paint to exterior textures and interior silk, Warrior Paints has it all. The product range and stylish colors are amazing. And what's more, Warrior Paints has crushed prices for incredible savings. Enjoy that good old-fashioned personal service you deserve. For price, quality, variety, and service, Warrior Paints is street ahead. Warrior Paints, affordable, lasting, luxury.
In a world where traffic is the enemy of progress, one man is in a race against time, through the noise, through the chaos, chasing something no GPS could find.
Accident detected ahead. Expect a 30-minute delay.
Not today, sweetheart. Not today. Write your own story with the Haval H7 from only $6,799 per month. Visit gwm.co.za for T's and C's and to book a test drive. Brought to you by GWM Finance, a division of Westbank, an authorized financial services and registered credit provider.
At the heart of global conversations shaping our future, Africa's voice is more important than ever. As proud lead sponsor of the B20, the Standard Bank Group is honored to showcase the continent's growth, partnerships, and potential on the world stage. Because driving Africa's growth isn't just our ambition, it's our purpose. Tune in every Monday from 3 p.m. for the Standard Bank B20 in brief for key insights and updates around the B20. Standard Bank is an authorized FSP and registered credit provider.
702 was in conversation with Wits University's Professor Andrew Forbes, unpacking how quantum science has the potential to shape South Africa's next wave of innovation and global competitiveness.
The technology we have today, digital technology, digital economy, how important is that to what we do in South Africa? It's essential, right? And what we have now is we're entering a second revolution with a quantum technology roadmap. The idea is that we're harnessing science that's been around for 100 years, but it's science that now we can put down into practical technologies, things that will help us compute faster.
702 in conversation with Wits University. Visit wits.hc.za to learn more.
702 Podcast
on primemediaplus.com.
24 minutes after 3 o'clock, briefly we'll go to Baba Londenzo, EWN reporter, to just give us an insight on what the latest has been regarding the Parliament Committee probing police corruption allegations to meet their final terms of reference. The terms of reference should be finalized, and Babalo joins us to tell us what's the latest. Babalo, thanks for joining us. Welcome once again.
Yes, thanks so much, Thabo.
We know, Babalo, that political parties had until, I think, last week Friday to make sure that their recommendations as to what should be included in the terms of reference before Parliament starts its investigations would be concluded and submitted. What is the latest in today's meeting? What tones are we getting? Are we seeing too much of changes as far as terms of reference are concerned?
Yes, indeed. I mean, the ad hoc committee, this is its second meeting. And it got off to a bit of a rocky start where members were having issues with the legal advice. But they did meet a week ago to elect a chairperson. Now they're getting down to the real business of the committee and finalizing those terms of reference and to look into the veracity and the implications of Mkwanazi's allegations at that press conference. Now they're currently discussing these terms of reference, going through them paragraph by paragraph, point by point, and parties making their submissions around a number of issues regarding the scope of the investigation, how the public will be involved in this inquiry, as well as the time frames of this investigation as well. Also looking at outside counsel or the external counsel or senior counsel legal that will be assisting the committee moving forward. So members are making these inputs, various parties are making inputs on these topics. So at the moment, they are still to finalize the terms of reference, but they are agreeing on most of the points, the scope of the investigation, for example, how whistleblowers should be protected, as well as witnesses that have some sensitive information that must be given to the committee. I mean, the ANC also making a proposal that the evidence of Nhlathla Mkhwanazi before the committee shall be used as a basis to establish the approach the committee will take. ANC also submitting that it's not really an investigation, it's more of an inquiry, and they should amend the terms of reference to not make reference to an investigation and rather to an inquiry, because Parliament doesn't have the powers to investigate. So that's where we are at the moment. It's these inputs from the different parties.
Before I say goodbye briefly, Babalo, is it within their scope as well, or recommendations to determine who the evidence leader should be?
Yes, indeed. These terms of reference will finalize that specific point, and they haven't decided on who it will be, but it will be someone external who has the expertise, or some parties also suggesting that they must be called in a need-for-need basis and not be, permanently part of the committee structure. But they're still finalizing that specific point, and by the next hour or so, we should know exactly who the external evidence leader will be.
Many thanks, Babalo Ndenze, EWN reporter, 27 after 3.
Let's walk the talk.
702.
Illegal tire dumping and burning is an environmental and health disaster for South Africa. You'd be driving or walking around and you'd see a tire on fire, but there are implications to the environment. And we thought let's briefly look into that, especially that we are all concerned about the state of the environment, and not just in South Africa, just generally globally. Stacey Jansen, Executive Director of Operation for Redisa, joins us for that. Stacey, thanks for your time. Welcome to 702.
Thanks, John.
It's Thabo for today. I'm staying for John. But
sorry, Thabo.
No worries. Listen, my colleagues are also confusing me for John, so I'll forgive you for that. But how serious is this, Stacey? And I'm saying this because, I come from the townships, and seeing the tire burning in the late afternoon used to be a regular, usual sight without thinking twice about it. Give us a bit of sense of seriousness of this.
Well, it's a very serious problem because we produce about 250,000 tons of waste tires every year, which is the equivalent of about 70,000 passenger tires a day. And if I were to give you a visual, if we were to lay each of those tires on the road, on the N1, it would stretch from Cape Town to Joburg.
Wow.
So it's a huge volume of waste that's coming in. And it's not being managed effectively. We as consumers are paying R2.30 per kilogram to the state to deal with waste tires. And yet we see tires being dumped in rivers, fields, near communities, mainly poorer communities. And the infrastructure that they do have and that's managing is non-compliant, overfull. And so, of course, in the absence of clear guidelines, people turn towards getting rid of a problem as easily and as quickly as possible.
Yeah.
And that leads to illegal dumping and burning, which is a disaster for our health.
Yeah, sorry about that. Whose responsibility is it, though, to make sure that there is proper collection of waste tires, and what should be done with them?
Well, our constitutional right is to have a clean environment, firstly. And as a result of that constitutional right, the Department of Environmental Affairs, we have an act called the National Environmental Waste Management Act. And that act is there to ensure that we have this clean environment. But, we had a tire plan in place. This waste management is something that's been debated in the country, and decisions were taken in 2001 that we must, at the Polokwane conference, that we must have effective waste management systems in place. And at the moment, we don't have that for tires. So yeah, it's quite a serious problem that doesn't seem to be given the priority that it deserves.
And something that it needs, it's more time, especially on radio, to delve more into this issue, Tracy. I really appreciate it.
Yes, it is a complex one. It's a complex one.
Yeah. Listen, and we should do that in the near future. I'm flat out of time for now, but it looks like we need to give it more time and to understand the dynamics and the impact thereof. But Stacey, really appreciate your time. Stacey Jansen, Executive Director of Operations for Redisa. 29 minutes to 4 o'clock. Eyewitness News headlines with Mbali Dlamini. Mbali, what's the latest? Good afternoon and welcome.
Thanks, Tabo. A very good afternoon. Well, we begin in KwaZulu-Natal, where emergency service teams are currently responding to a light aircraft crash in Durban. In a viral video footage which is circulating on social media, the incident was captured as it occurred, and the aircraft can be seen crashing into the ocean near Suncoast beachfront. Details remain sketchy at this stage, but ALS paramedics spokesperson Gareth Jameson says a full search and rescue operation is underway.
Initial reports are that the light aircraft was doing displays and crashed into the ocean. NSRI and lifeguards are currently at the site, and paramedics are standing by on the shoreline for medical assistance.
A Gauteng police sergeant and his wife have been arrested after being linked to the kidnapping and extortion of a Swiss national last week. The 23-year-old victim, a registered diamond dealer from Switzerland, landed in Johannesburg on Friday to conduct a deal and purchase diamonds after seeing an advert on Facebook for gems. Upon being picked up from his hotel in Boksburg by the seller, the victim was driven to a home in Randfontein where things took a turn for the worst. Oren Singh has the story.
A deal between a registered diamond dealer from Switzerland and a seller in South Africa turned sour when two police officers cut the deal short, demanding the Swiss national pay them more than 200,000 rand or face the possibility of arrest and jail time. According to sources, the victim was held against his will by the police officers. The victim allegedly paid the officers close to 50,000 rand, but this wasn't enough. In trying to raise further funds, the victim contacted his family for assistance, who in turn tipped off Interpol's National Central Bureau in Pretoria about the kidnapping. The victim was contacted by members of crime intelligence and shortly afterwards dropped off by the cops who had allegedly extorted money from him. On Tuesday, police met with the victim, who positively identified an officer from Tarleton Police Station as well as his wife as being involved in the kidnapping. The pair will appear before the Kempton Park Magistrates Court this afternoon. Aaron Singh, Eyewitness News.
The trial of Duduzile Sambudla Zuma in relation to the 2021 July unrest has been set down for November. This has been decided by the Durban High Court today. The daughter of former President Jacob Zuma faces charges of incitement to commit terrorism and incitement to commit public violence. The charges are linked to the unrest which led to widespread looting and left public infrastructure damage in KZN and parts of Gauteng. Nhlanhla Mabaso has more.
Alleged July unrest instigator Duduzile Zuma Sambudla returned to the Durban High Court for a pre-trial conference today. She is accused of encouraging the July 2021 riots after supporters demanded her father, former President Jacob Zuma, to be released from the Escort Correctional Facility, went on a looting spree. It's alleged Sambudla Zuma used social media to spur on the looting by sharing some of the incidents caught on tape with the caption, "We see you." NPA spokesperson Natasha Ramkison-Kara says trial dates have been set.
The judge in the matter certified the matter trial ready, and the matter was adjourned to the 10th of November for trial. The trial has been set down for the 10th to the 21st of November 2025.
The prosecution says it believes it has a watertight case. Nhlanhla Mabaso, Eyewitness News.
And negotiators trying to secure a global agreement on tackling plastic pollution have just hours left to salvage a deal after the talks plunged into disarray. Countries wanting bold action to turn the tide on plastic garbage are so far apart from a group of oil-producing nations. The prospects of finding meaningful common ground before tomorrow seem low after 3 years of talks. A draft text was produced yesterday based on the new areas of convergence in an attempt to find common ground, but the draft succeeded only in infuriating virtually all the corners, and the text was immediately shredded. It's a fine afternoon in Gauteng today. Temperatures have peaked at highs of 24 degrees.
Slow-moving traffic in the Edenvale area, R24 westbound heading towards Bedfordview. That's Between Edenvale Road and the Gululis interchange. Santon traveling towards Midrand, also bumper-to-bumper traffic. M1 northbound between Greyston and the Batlu interchange. And in Soweto, Pinville, Chris Hani Road remains closed off to traffic. That's opposite Maponya Mall.
The top story in EWN, emergency service teams are responding to a light aircraft crash in Durban this afternoon.
Africa Milani.
Weekday mornings,
4 to 6.
Are you on the road this morning? Are you driving, given the incident that played itself out in Maponya Mall yesterday in Soweto?
I'm scared of my life. I'm going home to sleep now. I did pass in Maponya last night. I saw the incident.
You saw the incident?
Yeah, I saw it.
What
I was on the trip going from Albertine to Soweto, so I passed. I saw it.
Were you driving there while it was happening, or did you drive there after it had happened?
It was happening by then when I passed.
What did you see, Veli? What did you witness?
I heard the gunshots, and when I come back, I just saw some of the cars on flames.
Africa Milani.
4 to 6 on 702.
Choose the best. The new Huawei Pura 80 series. The master of photography. A super sensor with precision zoom. Stay sharp from dawn to dusk with a superior 1-inch ultralighting camera and ultralighting macro telephoto lens. The master of color, enhancing every frame with vibrant color and incredible clarity. Tricky lighting? No problem. Take portraits against the light with every face perfectly illuminated. It's more than a phone. It's a professional studio in your pocket. Go beyond with Huawei Pura 80 series.
There's power in a single partner who helps you build a better employee benefits strategy. Begin with retirement, the foundation of securing your employee's future. Now layer in everyday health, mental wellness, and financial balance. And finally, essential protection for life's curveballs, from illness to income loss. Now that sounds like a complete benefit strategy, one that protects your people and powers your business. Talk to us at employeebenefits@oldmutual.com about Old Mutual Corporate's integrated employee benefits solutions. Old Mutual Corporate is a division of Old Mutual Life Assurance Company SA Limited, a licensed FSP and life insurer. T's and C's apply.
The world of work is constantly changing. It's faster, smarter, digital. Nashua can help your business evolve. Cut down your admin and automate manual tasks with our software. Protect your data with backup and recovery. And keep hackers out with cybersecurity. All the tech to revolutionize your business. Nashua. More than print.
The Money Show.
Weekday evenings at 6.
On the next Money Show, Standard Bank's Chief Executive Sim Chabalala will take us through the lender's latest half-year financial results as we make our way through the results season. Then Investment School will be in. Vincent Anthony Raja, CEO and co-founder at Differential Capital, will be your headmaster. He'll share some tips and advice on how to grow and protect your investment portfolio. Also, analysis of all of your top business news of the day.
The Money Show
on 702. 702. Let's walk the talk.
The Money Show with Stephen Curtis is brought to you by ABSA CIB, equipping you with efficient and secure cash management solutions for your business. Your story matters. ABSA is an authorized FSP and registered credit provider.
702.
WhatsApp us on 072 702 1702.
Hi, Tabo and team. Tabo, I'm a straight talker. Eh? I don't find any corner to tell you whatever I want to tell you. Even in the taxi, when we sit in the taxi and somebody's chewing the chappy very ugly, I turn around and I look who it is and I would, excuse me, sorry, tell you, keep a chappy or safulaga right, please, because we all pay here in the taxi. Can you please chew properly? My friend, when she's got dirty dishcloths, I tell her straight, please don't offer me anything, your dishcloths are dirty. And that's the first thing when you get into a kitchen, the dishcloths must be clean. Because your dishcloths say everything about you in the kitchen. So I call a spade, Tabo. I don't want to lie. I don't beat around the bush. I tell you straight, if there's something in your mouth or your eyes, I tell you straight, look at you, look what's in your eye. Did you wash this morning? That's me, Tabo. Thanks, bye.
Tabo.
as for those people who speak and spit at the same time. And they have this tendency of wanting to speak closer to your face every time they speak. And we always say that they need raincoats. I think we survived a lot during COVID times because most of the times they will be covering their mouths with masks. Eish, it's a serious thing. That one there. Those people like to speak closer to your face and they will be spitting and something else.
I-702 is meant for the. You know, I believe the community wants the mall to close because there's lacks of security, very lax. The security that was there when the opening of the mall happened, it's no longer there. It's just coming in and out. It's just a junkie. It's getting junky, that mall. So I believe community is right when they say it must close. They need to close or to be told to up their security because people who come to that mall needs to be safe. So some malls have got enough security. Why is it that they relax? Is it that because it's in the township? I don't know, but security is security. It needs to be upped. Thank you.
Oh, Rufua, don't make me laugh. Need the visitors.
Yeah, that's what she calls them. And in case you've just joined us and you're wondering what are we all on about, especially those few voice notes that you have just listened to now, we were reflecting earlier on being uncomfortable by telling a colleague, a friend, or someone that you'll be within their proximity about things that they're doing, how they chew, as Rufua would call them, visitors in their nose, maybe they're spitting as they speak. How do you tell that person that, hey, man, just give me the news. I don't want the weather. How do you do that without seeming to be rude and you could really ruin a great friendship. And it could be a career-limiting move as well. But how do you go about telling them? And that's what we're chatting about. And the last voice note was about what's happening in Maponya Mall. We'll reflect on that a little bit later on. 17 minutes to 4 o'clock.
EWN Sport.
Currently sharing position number 1. What does the assistant coach say? Tolagele, good afternoon.
Tabo, why must you start it like that? Well, Cedric Kaze says Kaizer Chiefs winning their opening 2 Betway Premiership games of the season offers them an opportunity to work in peace over the coming weeks. The Glamour Boys share the top of the league standings with Durban City, Marumo Gallants and Skukune United. That follows their 1-0 win over Polokwane City last night.
Those points, those 3 points, those victories, they give you time to work in a more easy way because people are confident, people are happy, but we need as well to know that we haven't arrived and we're still very, very far. We have to work very hard. I'm pretty sure that everyone is pulls in the same direction. We will get it right.
As for Soweto rivals, the Orlando Pirates, they've confirmed the departure of Karim Kamvidi, who joins FC Ashdod on a season-long loan deal with the option to buy. At the same time, Adeslam Adu will be without Olisha Ndang, Kosinati Sibisi and Makahleni Makaula. That's for their first leg MTN8 semi-final against Mamelodi Sundowns on Saturday due to injury. Switching over to cricket, where Australia all-rounder Mitchell Owen has been ruled out for the remainder of the white ball series against South Africa due to concussion. He was struck on the helmet by Kagiso Rabada and passed an assessment during the 53-run defeat in the second T20, but he later reported concussion symptoms. The series itself will be decided on Saturday, and Tristan Stubbs wants to ensure South Africa are the victors.
I'm really excited. After the first one, it's really important to bounce back, and it sets up well for a series decided tomorrow or Saturday. I mean, for us, we're a young side, to win a series here in Australia will be really cool for us and take momentum. We go straight to England after this, so I think that's the big goal right now, to win Saturday's game.
And 2-time US Open singles champion Venus Williams has received a wildcard entry into this year's tournament. Last month, Williams became the oldest player to win a WTA singles match since 2004. That's when she beat Peyton Stearns at the Washington Open after a 16-month absence from competitive tennis. Tolagele Mganga, Eyewitness News Sport.
EWN Traffic.
Getting a bit busy, Garabo. How does the road look?
Well, at this stage, if you're heading towards Bedford View, That's leaving the Edenvale area. Slow-moving traffic. R24 westbound between Edenvale Road and the Gilulis interchange. Santon also heading towards Midrand. Bumper-to-bumper traffic. M1 northbound between Ethel Oakland and the Batlu interchange. While if you're traveling through the Joburg CBD heading towards Poisons, there's heavy delays on the M1 southbound from Killarney Bends all the way to the Crown interchange. Soweto Pinville, there's still Chris Hani Road remains closed off to traffic. This is opposite Maponya Mall due to that ongoing taxi conflict. And there's also traffic lights not working in Randburg at Malibongo Drive and Mahogany. If you come across any other traffic issues, please WhatsApp us on 072 702 1702.
There's more EWN on air, online, and on the EWN app.
Join us.
Let's walk the talk.
This is 702.
14 to 4, Thabo in for John. Thanks for joining us, John 702. And we've been receiving a very interesting litany of voice notes about telling people the real stuff about them. Speaking of which, she is just waltzed into the studio with a black and gold shirt. All over the place, it says Kaiser Chiefs.
No, it doesn't.
I mean,
it doesn't.
really.
You know we are streaming on YouTube,
yeah.
but now you can't lie. It just has the badge.
Okay, but then isn't it a Kaiser Chiefs jersey? Isn't it a Chiefs jersey?
It's not the kid. It's just a lifestyle top.
No, but wow, a lifestyle.
A
That
lifestyle
says
top.
Kaiser Chiefs.
Yes.
I mean, really?
Yes.
The nerve.
We must
the
respect.
nerve.
We must respect
Kaiser
people that are
Chiefs.
doing well.
Respect.
Yes.
Isn't it too early to celebrate?
There's no celebration. It's just we acknowledge the good work that is being
Wow.
done.
Oh, wow. And she was leading with a story talking about
course.
bias in the media.
I could
And-
start with the team that's 14, but I'll do that
maybe
next
not,
hour.
Maybe not. Tolagele Mganga joins us right now in the studio. I was asking you earlier on, Tolagele, we're asking about, just approaching someone and telling them that, hey, don't spit on my face as you're speaking, or hey, just wipe the corners of your mouth. You've got that white stuff. Every time you speak, there's that white stuff. And hey, there's a booger in your nose. Those uncomfortable stuff, How do you tell someone? Are you that person who says it the way it is? Or you just, suck it in and you're thinking, I can't tell him. And in the meantime, they're raining on you. And you are even afraid to wipe it off because you're thinking, I don't want them to think that I'm rude.
I think it kind of depends on the closeness. If it's someone that I'm familiar with, I will point out that, hey, you just have like something in your nose, or I'll just give you a tissue and just be like, wipe that.
Yeah.
When it's like someone that I'm meeting for the first time, I will let it go. Because
Your colleagues at Prime Media, what do you do?
I think I tell them, like, I'm fairly
Yeah.
comfortable because I know I have a friend who always says to me when we're at games and then I take out a horse.
Yes.
Not generally, I just eat horse just to pass. He always says to me,
Yes.
is that you trying to say to me my breadsticks? I'm just like, no, I'm just eating the horse. So
Yeah.
some people can pick up on those like little context
Yes,
clues and then they'll
yes.
make it work for them. But
And others
unless,
can
but also you have to
get
be
a hint.
comfortable because also
Yeah.
there are also people at the end of the day.
I suppose. And Garabo, has it fired back on you when you told someone that, hey, fix this?
No. Like I don't do that.
You don't?
I'll just let
Let
it
you
go
be.
and be like, yeah, shame, poor chap.
And you'll just be quiet.
Hey, dude. Hey, you don't want to hurt people's feelings, eh?
I suppose.
Like Tolagele said, and I said earlier on, if it's like a close friend and I'm open,
Yes.
and or maybe it's a sibling or family member, any day I'll let you know. Hey, uhlapile meno today.
Oh, wow. Did you brush your teeth this morning? In case someone didn't get it. But hey, share your stories with us on 0727021702. I'd love to know what really happened when you were brave enough to confront that person. What did they do? Are you still on speaking terms today? It's exactly 10 minutes to 4 o'clock.
For more about 702,
Go to primemediaplus.com.
Stokvels are a very rich terminology in the South African lexicon. and often they speak about the rotating saving schemes that have been formed by various communities in order to club up some savings for a funeral or any other cause. Can these really help to stimulate the economy of South Africa, to put cash in the pockets of their members? Or are they just stagnant and just only focusing on burying each other? We are now chatting to Andrew Lukele, who's the founder and chairperson of the National Stokvel Association. Andrew, thanks for joining us. Welcome to 702.
Afternoon. Thank you very much for having me.
We have seen the morphing of Stokvels changing from traditionally focusing on funerals and burials, and some Stokvels include buying property for one another. And a little while ago, when they were still in fashion, some people would even venture on having Stokvels buying each other CDs. Have we seen the evolution of this concept of Stokvels?
Yeah, Tab, I think you'll understand that Stokvels were born out of a marginalization that was associated with the apartheid system, where people were deprived various amenities, including financial inclusion. So Stokvels are still here. Unfortunately, the number is growing. More than 11 million South Africans are members of Stokvels. So Stokvels are proving to be still relevant, and young people are joining the Stokvels in droves, and they're bringing with them the appetite for technology and ways of doing things in the modern society.
It appears as if banks and other formal corporations have warmed up to the concept of Stokvels, Andrew, so much that they are truly benefiting, because we are talking about millions of rands that Stokvels are producing collectively, obviously making banks a little bit profitable as well, contributing to that. How can they be somehow made to contribute to their own members more than they give money to these corporations?
Contrary to a popular belief, the money that goes to the banking system is minuscule. Stokvel members have come to learn over the years that the banking system is not benefiting them. The money that they put into in the bank doesn't come back the same way that is being deposited. To an extent that Stokvel members have learned to lend money among themselves, and it's actually legal to do so, as long as they lend among themselves with the interest rate that is compatible with their needs and their way of doing things. So yes, you are quite correct that banking is important in the investment discussion. However, Stokvel members have mixed feelings about the participation in the banking system. Banks are free or happy to accept Stokvels deposits, but when they have to reciprocate the way of accessing loans from the banks, Stokvel members are not accepted.
Yeah.
So that is the dichotomy that is experienced.
I mean, Stokvels are contributing about 50 billion rands, 50 billion rands in savings in South Africa. That's a significant number. I'm wondering how they could leverage to make their own communities great. Do you think Stokvels have been parochial in some instances where they are just focusing on burials as opposed to profitability and seeing the fruit of their labor whilst they're still alive?
Yeah, that has been demonstrated in a, you can say, in a small way. If you look at the importance of the informal sector, you count the taxi industry, you take the hawkers, the salons, all the self-run businesses in the townships. Remember, those people are not being financed by anyone except themselves. So the value of Stokvels is not measured in terms of rents and cents, unfortunately. It's always measured in terms of, I've seen women distributing groceries and all that. It's very important to also understand that when you talk about Stokvels, you're talking about a very diverse system.
Yes, yes.
Whose participants share a certain background. We're often told that South Africa is among the most unequal society in the world. It counts for something in terms of the attitude of people on the ground. We have a new government today. The slogan of a better life for all has not been realized by the majority of South Africans. So it tells you that people still have to pull themselves by their own bootstraps. The concept of self-help is huge on the ground.
And could it be that they're also stigmatized, Stokvels? They are only associated with people in a certain economic bracket, and many other people see it as backwards and so on. I must say that I am a member of 2 Stokvels. Well, one of them is about to kick me out. That's a different story though altogether, because I haven't been attending. So, but is there a stigma around Stokvels that stop their members from reaching their potential?
It's very interesting. You know this thing of the story of the hunter and the hunted.
Yes.
The story of the hunted is always told by the hunter. So there are people like you. You're not being kicked out. You have graduated. You belong elsewhere.
No.
Now you're playing golf there. You're doing other things. Yeah, okay, now.
No, it's not the case. You'll fast track me being kicked out of it because they've written me some text messages which I must respond to. But on a very serious note, Andrew, I'm wondering, is there any plan in just a minute that can, if members of Stokvels are listening throughout the country, because FNB reported that they, in 2024, by the end of 2024, they had received about 13.3 billion deposits of Stokvels. Clearly something can be done with that money. Anything that Stokvels can do practically as they are listening to you now to make sure that they invest wisely, but most importantly, help the economy to grow.
No, you're quite right. I think the other misconception is that that 50 billion rands is sitting somewhere there under someone's control. It's not true. That 50 billion rands is money that is calculated from the smallest type of a Stokvel you can imagine to the middle class that you belong to. So that social class is there, and the communication is not the same. The women who bear the brunt of high prices in terms of buying food for children might not understand when we say to them, let's put money in the stock exchange.
Yeah.
They have an immediate need.
Right here,
and they've been attracted to that particular Stokvel because of the realities on the ground.
Andrew, sadly, we have to leave it at that. We'll revisit this issue again. It's very important. I want us to ventilate it some more in the near future. Are you a member of Stokvel? Are you getting your worth at that particular Stokvel? But what kind of Stokvel are you into? And is it really speaking to your needs? I'd like to know. 011-883-0702. Alternatively, send us a voice note on 072-702-1702.
Bongani Bingwa, 702 Breakfast.
Weekday mornings, 6 to 9.
An e-hailing service driver met his death as he dropped off a passenger at Maponya Mall in what's believed to be part of a long-running feud between e-hailing drivers and local taxi operators. It happens, they've sent the message, and it does appear as if you're scared to do anything about it as this government.
We're really not scared of them. The taxi industry must understand that we are in a democratic country, and that's why we believe that we must bring all parties on the table.
MEC for Roads and Transport in Gauteng, Kidibone Diale Habele.
Bongani Bingwa, 6 to 9.
On 702.
It's more than caffeine. It's the ritual, the welcome, and the way they get your order just right. From the first sip to the last, your coffee shop makes the day better. Now's your chance to say, I see you. Vote for them as Gauteng's greatest coffee shop at primemediaplus.com. Voting closes 27 August. Make it count, because Gauteng isn't just the hub of business. It's the home of excellence, and excellence deserves your applause. Gauteng's greatest awards with 702, powered by Yoko.
What is Overtrail? Is it off the beaten path, over the edge of comfort, or the thrill of the road less taken? It's over every bridge, every obstacle, every trail, and over to that view that takes your breath away. Overtrail means going further, exploring deeper, surrounded by the comfort and sophistication of a luxury SUV. It's this spirit that inspired the Overtrail project. Experience Overtrail in the LX and GX range. Lexus. Experience amazing.
Business Outsurance are experts in business insurance for optometrists, surgeons, and other medical specialists. Here's Chrissy.
Business Outsurance is the best insurer for my business. They have great premiums, wonderful service. I know without a doubt that Outsurance has my back, and you always get something out with Outsurance.
Switch to Business Outsurance and you could get a massive 20% discount on your business insurance premium. Visit outsurance.co.za. Switch and save today. Licensed insurer and FSP. TCs and information online.
This is EWN.
Search efforts underway following a light aircraft crash and no solution yet in taxi-related violence in Soweto. Good afternoon, I'm Bali Dlamini. A multi-stakeholder search and rescue effort is continuing in Durban this afternoon for a missing pilot whose aircraft crashed into the ocean. Preliminary investigations suggest that the small aircraft was performing displays when it suddenly plummeted into the water near Suncoast beachfront this afternoon. ALS spokesperson Gareth Jameson says it's unclear if there was another passenger on board.
The SAPS helicopter, together with lifesavers and NSRI boats on the water, trying to locate the missing pilot. All necessary authorities are in attendance. However, the pilot has not been found as yet.
Gauteng Transport MEC Kidiboni Diale-Tlhabela is going back to the drawing board after a failed meeting with industry leaders over violent clashes between taxi operators and e-hailing drivers in Soweto. It comes after 2 e-hailing vehicles were torched outside Maponya Mall last night. One driver was shot and killed during the incident, while 2 other people sustained injuries. Today, Diale-Tlhabela held a meeting to try quell tensions between stakeholders while demonstrations unfolded at the site of the incident. But she says she then realized the e-hailing management she was engaging at the time does not represent the drivers who've been protesting today. Jabuli Limbata reports.
When Kidiboni Diale-Tlhabela came to address the crowd that has been waiting outside the Maponya Mall since morning, she was met with disdain. The angry crowd quickly cut her speech short, telling her their demands, including the shutting down of the mall for 7 days. They also told her that they want the taxi rank to be removed from the mall. She says the meeting needs to start over.
And unfortunately for us, post the meeting, we had to come and address the people outside. And the people outside who are e-hailers themselves are disputing that the leadership that we were meeting, that they are not their leaders, they were not representing them. So it means we must go back to the drawing board.
New representatives have gone to meet with the MEC. Jabuli Lembata, Eyewitness News, Soweto.
Johannesburg Mayor Dada Morero has established a disciplinary board to probe allegations of financial misconduct in the metro. It follows revelations that the municipality incurred more than 23 billion rand in wasteful expenditure in the 2023-2024 financial year. Earlier this month, Finance Minister Enoch Godongwana wrote a scathing letter to Morero urging him to get the city's finances in order. Speaking at a media briefing in Johannesburg today, Morero responded to Godongwana's letter. Alpha Ramushwana has the details.
Johannesburg Mayor Dada Morero says the city's 23 billion rand unauthorized, fruitless and wasteful expenditure has been steadily increasing over the past few years. He adds that a significant portion of this irregular spending stems from the procurement of goods and services without adhering to supply chain regulations. Following Finance Minister Enoch Godongwana's criticism that there appears to be no consequence management for financial misconduct in the city, Morero has now appointed a disciplinary board to tackle the misuse of public funds.
The disciplinary board has already concluded preliminary investigation of 6 matters, totaling 535 million, and will report the outcomes of the council as it sits in the next ordinary meeting.
Godongwana had threatened to cut grant funding to the city unless Morero gets his house in order. Alpha Ramshwana, Eyewitness News, Johannesburg.
We shift Focus to this now. Some Middelburg residents in the Western Cape say justice has not been fully served in the Jocelyn Smith kidnapping and human trafficking case. This after state witness Laurentia Lombard walked free yesterday when she was granted full immunity. Lombard testified against her 3 co-accused who are convicted of kidnapping and trafficking the 6-year-old child. Kelly Smith, Jacqueline Paulus and Stefano van Ryn's application for leave to appeal their convictions was dismissed by the Western Cape High Court yesterday. Kaylin Morgan reports from Saldanha Bay.
Natasha Marman's home overlooks the empty spot where Kelly Smith's shack once stood before being set alight on the day of sentencing. Marman says Lombard, better known as Renz's honesty, came a little too late and the courts are setting a bad precedence for others who may commit similar crimes.
Yes, he's turned 204, everything, yeah, but still it's very upsetting because why, at the end of the day tomorrow, I can also turn out to be a 204 and also walk free. Then should have got at least 10 years, even though she was a 204 in. The deal they made with her was a deal.
While Lombard left court a free woman, her 3 co-accused are now looking to take their fight to overturn their convictions to the country's higher courts following the dismissal of their appeals. Kaylin Morgan, Eyewitness News, Middelburg in Saldanha.
And negotiators trying to secure a global agreement on tackling plastic pollution have just hours left to salvage a deal after the talks plunged into disarray. Countries wanting bold action to turn the tide on plastic garbage are so far apart from a group of oil-producing nations. The prospects of finding meaningful common ground before tomorrow seem low after 3 years of talks. A draft text was produced yesterday based on the few areas of convergence in an attempt to find the common ground, but that draft succeeded only in infuriating virtually all the corners, and that text was immediately shredded. Gold is trading at $3,347.86 an ounce. The rand is at 17.61 to the dollar, 23.89 to the pound, 20.53 to the euro, and Brent crude oil is at $65.63 a barrel.
Edenvale heading towards Bedfordview can now expect about a 20-minute delay on the R24 westbound between Edenvale Road and the Gilulis interchange due to an earlier accident. There's also an accident scene in the Alexandra area. That's the N3 southbound near Modderfontein Road, causing heavy delays all the way from the Batlu interchange. And in Pimville, Soweto, Chris Honey Road remains closed off to traffic. That's opposite Maponya Mall.
In your sport, James O'Connor named in the Wallabies starting 15 for their rugby championship opener against the Springboks. Cameron Heinekom and Wilco Lowe, the big winners at the Bulls Player Awards. And Eric Tinkler concerned by Sekhukhune United's lack of motivation despite their win over TS Galaxy.
A partly cloudy Friday in store for Gauteng tomorrow. Johannesburg dropping to overnight lows of 6 degrees, peaking at 24. Pretoria 7 and 25, and Vereeniging 4 and 24 degrees. The top story in EWN this hour. A multi-stakeholder search and rescue effort is continuing in Durban for a missing pilot whose aircraft crashed into the ocean today.
EWN, in touch, in tune, and independent. For the latest, visit ewn.co.za or download the EWN app.
702.
Live
On the Prime Media Plus app.
DSTV channel 856.
92.7.
And 106 FM. Let's walk the talk.
8 minutes after 4 o'clock. Thanks very much for sticking around with us. And if you've just tuned in, welcome. My name is Shwele Mashao. I'm in for John Perlman. We're together till 6 this evening. Stick around. We've got so much more to go through during the show. Earlier on, we were talking about the economic impact of Stokvels, their potential to stimulate economic activity in communities that are often seen to be living in the periphery of the mainstream of our economy. How can they put together their resources and participate actively in businesses, various equity forms, investments, and also perhaps assist each other to buy franchises and acquire much, much more. I would love to hear from you if you are a member of your Stokvel, and what is it that you are doing differently in your Stokvel that distinguishes you from being just about burials. A little bit later on, Your House, Your Home is a feature that comes every single week. This week, we'll be looking at the Home Owners Association and what if they are placed under administration? What are the implications of the residents in that particular setup? Taxi feud is getting very serious. We heard in EWN a little bit earlier on that Soweto was on fire and the tensions are very high. We will touch on that a little bit later on. But shortly, we will be looking at the national dialogue, and the preparations are underway for the convention to kick off. President Thabo Mbeki is reported to have declined the invite. Is it just about to crumble, or will they just soldier on and give us the best that they had promised? 10 minutes after 4. 072 702 1702.
702.
WhatsApp us on 072 702 1702.
Issue of the national dialogue, it shows sincerely how some people are empty in their heads, because now there's a platform to raise issues in a very democratic way without being clouded by political views and thinking. And some people still think that the national dialogue is a waste of time. It means that they had nothing to offer in the first place. Because if you forfeit the platform to present your ideas to build South Africa at the national dialogue, surely speaking, you do not deserve to open your mouth thereafter. This is Jack Mitileni from Mamanskral.
A very nice topic, colleagues, guys. But would you tell a friend that his or her girlfriend or boyfriend is cheating on that person? Your brother, your sister, whoever. Will you have guts?
No.
To say that?
No.
To deliver the breaking news?
No.
Hi. Personally, I would pull my friend, my colleague, who, irrespective of who it is, I would pull that person to the side and I'd say, listen, you've got something up your nose, or I would tell you in a nice way that, listen, your breath is a little bit funky. Obviously not to hurt that person's feeling, but I would always put it in a nice way.
Yeah, I mean, is there a nice way to break someone's heart? I don't know much about that. 072 702 1702, 12 minutes after 4 o'clock.
EWN Traffic.
This Eyewitness News traffic is brought to you by Outsurance in partnership with 702. Mr. Charlie, what's the latest on our roads?
Well, we're still dealing with that accident scene. That's in the Edenvale area heading towards Bedford View, R24 westbound near the Kilulis interchange, and this is causing about a 20-minute delay all the way from Edenvale Road, so avoid that route if you can. Sandton, also bumper traffic heading towards Midrand, M1 northbound from Ethel Oaklands all the way to the Baclue interchange in the Joburg CBD, traveling towards Boysons, traffic heavily backed up. M1 south, this is between Killarney Benz and the Crown interchange. Pinville, Soweto, we still have Chris Honey Road closed off to traffic. That's opposite Maponya Mall due to taxi conflict. If you come across any other traffic issues, please WhatsApp us on 072 702 1702.
There's more EWN on air, online, and on the EWN app.
The Outsurance pointsmen know that every car on the road carries a story. There's a car with a couple stealing glances at each other. In a week, their lives will change forever as they exchange their I-do's. The Outsurance pointsmen know it's not just a car in traffic, it's a love story on the move. Every story's different and every story matters. That's why the Outsurance pointsmen have been doing what they do since 2005 in proud partnership with 702. Outsurance is a licensed insurer and FSP.
Clement Maniatella.
Weekday mornings,
9 to 12.
9 to 12.
We were having a conversation just now about
this study by the Mapungube Institute for Strategic Reflection, which suggests that the ANC is likely to only retain the majority in the two provinces after the 2029 general elections. I mean, that's surely not surprising to you as the ANC.
Research is not immutable. Once you've heard research, don't be denialist about what it says. The question is, are we doing enough in order to change that trend so that we actually increase our support in all the provinces, including in Gauteng and in KZN?
Do you think you're doing enough? And is it even possible for the ANC to claw back that support?
I think we can claw back.
Dr. Malusi Gigaba.
Clement Manyatela.
9 to 12 on 702.
If you want to know about the heart and art of jazz, look no further than the Standard Bank Joy of Jazz Festival, a grand ensemble of over 50 world-class acts across 4 stages for 3 whole days. That's right, from the 26th, 27th and 28th of September. The Sandton Convention Center will be demure and sophisticated as the fine Standard Bank Joy of Jazz 2025 takes you deep into the heart, the art and splendor of jazz. Take me there. Book your seat via Ticketmaster now.
When you empower a woman, you empower a whole nation. Women have a remarkable way of multiplying whatever is placed in their hands. This August, we're celebrating Women's Month with the theme Building Resilient Economies for All. We reflect and honor the courageous women of 1956 who took a stand against the injustices of the past. We also recognize and celebrate all South African women who continue to lead, build, and inspire across every part of our society, from business and education to peace building and beyond. Yes, there is still much to be done. The pursuit to achieving total gender equality and empowerment will continue until every woman is able to enjoy the benefits of a safe and just society. #Rekaufela Basadi. #Women's Month 2025. A message by the National Department of Sport, Arts and Culture.
OUTsurance made it possible for us to travel more with the money that we save. 725. This is really real.
You are the biggest saver we've ever had.
2,794 Rand a month. It was the easiest switch ever. Get real.
How is it that OUTsurance provided the solution for you?
918 Rand is what I'm saving.
Incredible.
Go to outsurance.co.za now for a 10-minute quote that could save you thousands. Licensed insurer and FSP. T's and information online.
702
Let's walk the talk on 92.7
and 106 FM.
17 minutes after 4 o'clock, Thabo in for John. Thanks for staying with us, and let's keep the conversation going. You might have heard quite a lot about the national dialogue. Some people have said the doors should shut down and we should forget about that ambitious, perhaps an unnecessary expenditure and futile exercise. Others are saying South Africans need to talk to one another. It's important that we at least hear what we have to say. Various parties have lended their opinions and views on this, and now we are joined by General Bantu Holomisa, Deputy Minister of Defense and Military Veterans, on the line. Njenge, thanks for your time. Welcome to 702. Good afternoon. General, I missed you for a second. I think I might have pressed the wrong button. Are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, I was just saying welcome to the show, but I'll go straight to the question. Is it still a worthwhile exercise? I know that you are one of the enthusiasts on this, and you've held a very stern view that it should continue. Despite all these shortcomings, do you believe that it's still worth our while?
It is. In fact, it's long overdue. We have been arguing from the UDM's point of view for many, many years to say that the original agenda which we agreed upon to implement in 1994 seemed to have been hijacked by scrupulous politicians and business people. And as a result, the programs which were supposed to have been implemented, every day we're talking about misuse of government funds. We're talking about people who are disillusioned, who want progress. So I think it's time that we need to converge under one roof and reflect and ask ourselves a simple question. Are we still on course if we feel that we have messed up, let us come up with some recommendations how to fix this. That would translate into us addressing issues like the accountability part of it. Why people are doing this thing, why they feel they are not accountable. Maybe we need to look into our electoral systems to make sure that we choose our own people to go and represent the citizens. Maybe we need to look into the performance of our economy and also the question of land. Remember that after Chris Hani was assassinated, during the time at Codesa, people started to press panic buttons, and we demanded a date for elections and said, all right, we will see other issues. But fortunately, the Constitution of South Africa has been saying the resources of this country must be utilized for the betterment of all South Africans. So we need to look into those issues.
Yeah. General, I mean, we've seen the reports, and I'm sure you've seen it as well now. The Times Live has written a piece by Lizeka Tandwa, and they are saying that they have in their possession, or at least they've seen, a letter where former President Thabo Mbeki declined an invitation to attend. And someone who was initially a very vehement proponent of this national dialogue. Is this another nail in the coffin of the national dialogue?
No, then you are misleading the public. President Mbeki has a right to decline or accept an invitation, but that doesn't mean that the process will stop. Let us try and stop this thing of personalizing programs of the country. They have a right to say, no, we differ with you. But the dialogue itself is not an event of this coming weekend. We are launching a dialogue. It may take more than a year or so because there are a lot of things which needs to be addressed. A lot of streams are going to be put in place. You talk economy, talk security, education. We need to review those. And if we don't want to be accused of having turned this into a talk show, let the resolutions be adopted and be sent to Parliament if there is a need to develop a law or amend a constitutional laws.
Yes.
That should be done, ratified in Parliament, but not to start another process. Those who don't want to, yes, for now, the doors are not shut. They will still participate in this dialogue. But we must learn why Mbegis and others, what are they querying? So that those who are going to form steering committee and draw up a program of how we are going to do this must take into account why other people are raising concerns.
Yeah, and their concerns are very public and not secret at all. And some of them obviously include preferring postponement and saying that it must be a citizen-driven process as opposed to a government-driven process. But the question that I want to put on the ground now, some would argue that experience is the best teacher. Various discussions that we've had as nations before, including the TRC, and of late we saw the Commission of Inquiry, various Commission of Inquiries. We're not very famous or efficient at implementing recommendations. So skeptics may ask, why would this time be different, where recommendations of South Africans who would participate in the national dialogue matter or be implemented if we didn't implement in the past? Yeah,
I wish I was Sangoma to answer your question. So maybe we must throw some bones and see whether this one will be like those of the past or we have learned from those you have just mentioned so that we don't repeat, but focus on the implementation, resolution, timeframes, and so on, who's going to do what. We must apply a pragmatic approach, not theory. Thank you very much.
One last question. One last question. General, from UDM, what are you expecting from these talks? Are there any key issues that you'd be particularly interested in?
The United Democratic Movement would like to see us agreeing on what areas need to be reviewed. Whether you talk constitution, you talk about economic policies. Since 1994 in this country, there has never been any consensus on what kind of macroeconomic policy must we follow. Nor was it clear how the state should, what role the state should play in developing our economy. So all those issues, let's listen to the people on the ground.
Wait.
I'm already needed on the other channel.
Have a lovely one. Thanks for indulging us. Thanks, General Bantu Holomisa, leader of United Democratic Movement. And of course, he's telling me off that he's not a Sangoma. He can never know the outcomes of these talks. Well, some would argue you don't need a Sangoma at all for this. History will tell us whether the recommendations will be implemented or not. But like John, perhaps I'm just a skeptic who will be proven wrong. 25 minutes after 4 o'clock.
Let's walk the talk.
702.
702 indeed. 011-883-0702. 011-883-0702. There was a voice note earlier on that came through, and I forgot the name. Please forgive me for that. And the person was very emphatic. Our listener was emphatic in saying that those who are disgruntled or perhaps not as optimistic about the national dialogue have got nothing to contribute and should not contribute, should lose their right to contribute in the future. I don't think that's the attitude that we should take. People have a right to participate or not to participate, including with voting. I'd rather so many people vote. I'd rather we all go and express our views. But democracy also suggests that if those who feel that they don't want to participate express their views, we must equally respect that. That is part of a democratic process. And I think people have got reason to hold a skeptic view about the national dialogue, to ask about the costs of the dialogue, who is going to be involved, what is the criteria of those who will be involved, and what is going to happen at the end. What if the recommendations for the umpteenth time are not adhered to? What would be the consequences? I would want to hear from you. 27 minutes after 4 o'clock.
EWN Business.
With the great SG of broadcasting, Stephen Grootes, and I'd like to hear from him what's the latest in the world of finances, markets, and everything else. Hi, Steve. Great having you.
Tabo, hi, good afternoon. Good to chat again. So the JSE All Share, after really quite a strong couple of days, down 0.59% on the day, down to 101,679. Financials down 0.8. Industrials down 0.42. Resources down 1.84 on the day. So gold prices are quite a bit lower, so are platinum prices. That's pushing some of those shares down. And there's quite a lot of sort of corporate news, actually. So Standard Bank shares have been up for most of the day. They were up a little higher. They're up nearly 3% now. It reported its headline earnings were up by 8% to the 6 months to the end of June. Headline earnings up by 10%, but earnings for its business and commercial banking division was down, Tabo. The bank also talking about issues in the broader economy, only expecting economic growth of 0.9% this year. That's quite interesting because what it suggests then is that parts of the economy are battling. But Vodacom is up 2.6% on the day. We Buy Cars up 1.5%. And British American Tobacco has been bouncing around a little bit this week. Blue Label Telecom also up 1.11%. Truworths, they're down 5.11% today. A very interesting update from them. They say they expect to report a 7% drop in headline earnings per share for the year to the end of June. Its group retail sales were up, but they were slightly down in South Africa. It says that retail selling price inflation was down to just 1.2%. In other words, if you bought a shirt for your child last year, and then because they keep growing, you bought another one this year. It was up, the same shirt, up 1.2%. And it does show you what's happening with inflation in the clothing industry. But the group also had to mark down some products in the period. So there were global shipping disruptions. The clothes arrived slightly later in the season than they would have liked. And that seems to have had a little bit of an impact on them. I should point out Woolies is also down 2% on the day. In the US, we have seen stock markets really turning negative. So yesterday, the stock market soared partly because of a consumer report that suggested the US Federal Reserve would cut interest rates. But there was a producer price index report today showing that PPI was 3.3% on an annual basis in July. That was higher than expected. The Dow Jones then is down 0.18%. The Nasdaq is really flat. It's down 0.03. The S&P 500 is down 0.12 at the moment. The gold price, $3,338.24 an ounce. Platinum, $1,345.80. Brent crude, $66.40. And then the rand strengthening against the dollar all the time this week, 17.63 to the dollar, 20.54 to the euro, 23.88 to the British pound. Stephen Krutis, EWN Business.
Exactly 4:30, time for Eyewitness News headlines with Mbali Dlamini. What's the latest, Mbali?
Thanks, Thabo. Good afternoon. Well, Gauteng Police Commissioner Tomim Tombeni says they are following leads into a shooting that claimed the life of an e-hailing driver at Maponya Mall in Soweto. During that incident last night, the driver of a second e-hailing vehicle was also shot and managed to flee while an onlooker was injured in the crossfire. Police have opened a case of murder, attempted murder and 2 counts of arson after the 2 vehicles were also set alight. Mtombeni addressed this incident at a police event in Soshanguve today in the north of Pretoria.
We are following information. As of yesterday, I've spoken to crime intelligence. There is the leads which we are following, and we hope that as time goes on, we'll get into the bottom of it. But we also call.
His comments come as community members continue demonstrating in large groups outside Maponya Mall this afternoon where that incident occurred. They are waiting to be addressed by Gauteng Transport MEC Kidiboni Diale Tlhabela. To this now, the Lusikisiki massacre trial has been adjourned until tomorrow. 6 men are charged with the murders of 18 people in Gobozana village who were shot and killed execution style last year. The trial is in its 3rd week and is being heard in the Mthatha High Court, which is sitting in Lusikisiki. Nhlanhla Mabaso reports.
So far, the state has been able to positively link the firearms recovered in Flagstaff with the brutal murders of the 18 people shot and killed. A forensic ballistic expert has testified in this regard. However, he has also told the court that some of the spent cartridges recovered from the crime scenes were fired from an unknown firearm. This means while some of the guns used in the attack were found, there is another one or more still at large. This morning, when the proceedings resumed, state mortuary employees testified about collecting the bodies of the victims. State prosecutor advocate Mfundo Makubalo then requested that the matter be adjourned to tomorrow. Nhlanhla Mabaso, Eyewitness News, Lusikisiki in the Eastern Cape.
Non-profit organisation South Africans Against Drunk Driving is calling on speed limits to be lowered. The call comes after the Western Cape Mobility Department revealed that 52 people died during the first 11 days of August. 28 of those were pedestrian deaths. During the same period, provincial traffic officers recorded over 15,000 offences, including speeding, reckless driving, as well as the use of cell phones. Director of South Africans Against Drunk Driving, Caro Smith.
We need to concentrate on lowering our speed in South Africa. Our speeds of 60 kilometers in urban areas and 120 kilometers on the highways is just simply much too much.
And cholera has claimed at least 40 lives in Sudan's Darfur region over the last week as the country weathers its worst outbreak of the illness in years. Doctors Without Borders says the vast western region has been hardest hit by the year-old outbreak amid an all-out war. The NGO says 2,470 cholera-related deaths have been recorded recorded in the year out of nearly 100,000 suspected cases. Cholera is an acute infection that spreads through food and water contaminated with bacteria, oftentimes from feces. A partly cloudy Friday in store for Gauteng tomorrow. Lows of between 4 and 7 degrees and highs of between 24 and 25.
You can still expect more than a 20-minute delay in the Edenvale area. That's heading towards Bedford View, R24 westbound between Edenvale Road and the Gillilees interchange due to an earlier accident. Boksburg, also accident scene on the N12 eastbound near Croft Road, causing heavy delays. And in Sandton, bumper-to-bumper traffic on the M1 northbound between Ethel Oakland and the Butlu interchange.
The top story in EWN, Gauteng Police Commissioner Tomim Tombeni says they are following leads into a shooting which claimed the life of an e-hailing driver at Maponya Mall in Soweto last night.
702 afternoons
with Relebogile Maboja, 1 to 3 p.m.
So what would you need to do with these crystals? Is it wearing them? Is it keeping them in your house, in your car? What do you do with them?
So all of the above. Different crystals will have different uses. Sometimes it's great to keep it on your body if you're looking for physical healing and emotional healing. If you're looking for things like protection, you can put them around your house and your garden. You can also wear the ones for protection as well. There is one that makes you invisible to thieves, and that's garnet. So that you can keep in your car, you can keep in your handbag. So yeah, there's little tips and tricks that are endless when you go into the crystal world.
Amy Ann Atkinson, energy healing therapist and practitioner.
702 afternoons
with Relebogile Maboja.
Let's walk the talk.
They did a lot for you. Now, do one more thing for them. Protect yourself and those you love by getting vaccinated against flu. It's the most effective way to prevent and control flu. Book an appointment with your healthcare provider today, covered by most medical schemes. A message brought to you by Sanofi.
My guy, tell me how date night was.
Bro, I'm telling you, my arrival was too clean. That sporty exterior, the 1.5 turbo engine, just turns heads.
But what about date night?
Yeah, it was chilled. But the Jolly on Pro, it's on another level, bro.
Sometimes the drive is the best part. The Haval Jolion Pro from only $4,299 per month. Visit gwm.co.za for T's and C's. GWM. Go with more. Brought to you by GWM Finance, a division of West Bank, an authorized financial services and registered credit provider.
Every day I'm hustling. It's our reality as business owners. And it's good to know that there's someone out there who takes care of the business that makes the business. Gotta love My Way Business Insurance. Saving big on premiums with 24/7 emergency services, plus My Business Assist with marketing, legal, and labor advice services.
Visit myway.co.za or dial 0860 64 64 64 and get a quote today. My Way is a licensed non-life insurer and FSP. T's, C's, and standard rates apply. My Way. Live your way.
702.
WhatsApp us on 072 702 1702.
Good afternoon, Thabo and the 702 listeners. On the topic of the Stokvels, I personally believe that they are the vehicle that could bring generational wealth, for the people who participate in them. And one thing that I need to caution against is that people must have a constitution in place, an ironclad constitution. All right, so it shouldn't have any biasness whatsoever, because that's the number one reason why there are usually conflicts. And on the issue of the 52 billion that the Stokvels generate annually, only 7% of it is kept long term. The remainder is spent in December and January. Just food for thought. Tandanani in Boksburg. Thank you. Bye.
I feel like this now has become about the foundations, whether they are in, whether they are out. Remember, this is for us as South Africans. It's about our issues. It's about our issues being listened to. And to be fair and honest, even a pastor talking to a person who has a drinking problem doesn't speak once, has to speak a few times for that person to be converted and actually do the right things. For me, I say always open the channels of communication. Let us continue to talk. Let us continue to engage. Let us not stop talking, and let us continue to talk and say what our issues are as South Africans. So I'm for this dialogue and any other form of communication going forward.
Yeah, I hold the same view of being a slave of hope and dialogue. I honestly believe that dialogue does resolve 95% of problems that we may be facing. We'll speak about the philosophical implications of the other 5%. But generally, I also believe that, right? But what is to be said that is not known? 1. 2, elected officials like General Bantu Holomisa and many others were taken to Parliament to represent the views of ordinary people on the ground, to represent people who are supposedly their supporters, their members, and people affiliated to them. So when you calculate the number of seats in Parliament as to the number of votes that they represent, it is incumbent upon those individuals occupying those seats to express clearly whatever it is that us voters want to express. Because if they don't do so, we stand a risk of spending money, wasting time, convening these talks that perhaps won't necessarily bear necessary fruit. So whilst we should be focused on dialogue and engaging each other, sitting around the table, until when? You know what the problems are. We all know what the issues are. The only missing link in this equation is action. Action by the government. 20 minutes to 5 o'clock.
EWN Sport.
And a place where action is never missing would be a sporting field. Tolagele will tell us more about it. Hey, Tolagele.
Thanks so much, Tabo. James O'Connor has been recalled by Australia for their rugby championship opener against defending champion South Africa on Saturday. He last represented the Wallabies 3 years ago and takes over from Ben Donaldson, who fails to make the matchday 23 named by coach Joe Schmidt. The game itself will take place at Ellis Park, and Auckland Chair expects to face a fired-up Australia.
From the previous matches, they seem to be pretty fired up in all aspects of their game. So I definitely think they'll be definitely fired up. Currently, we are seen as the number one ranked team in the world, and definitely for them, it's like, boys, the best thing is that if they can match us in our set piece, I think for them, then they can obviously try to impose that aspects of the game that they're good at.
Cameron Heinekom and Wilco Lowe were the big winners at the Bulls Player Awards. Heinekom was named Fans Player, Champions Cup Forward and URC Forward of the Year, while Lowe claimed the URC Player and Bulls Senior MVP Award. Sizopila Solonzi was named Bulls Daisies Player of the Year, along as being named MVP. Switching over to the Betway Premiership, West Kukune United are the co-leaders with Kaizer Chiefs, Durban City and Marumo Gallants. That's after the second round of games. Eric Tinkler's side defeated TS Galaxy 1-0, but the coach was unimpressed with their full 90-minute performance.
You've won the last two games. You should be able to go out there and actually, express yourself, and you should naturally be motivated. But first off, we didn't look anything like a team that won 2 games in a row. We looked like a team that was playing with fear, and that's the disappointment.
For Chiefs, they left it late to beat Bulugwane City 1-0 as they made it back-to-back clean sheets. And with head coach Nazruddin Nabi out of the country while he deals with a personal matter, his assistant Cedric Kaze has discussed how much involvement he's currently having in the team.
He trusts our experience, he trusts our knowledge too, because we are the people that are on the field every day. The people that are on the field are those that feel the vibe on the field. They see every day what is happening. They see the trainings, who can do what. He trusts us as well to make the lineup as he's the head coach as well. He's informed on a daily basis.
Tolagele Mganga, Eyewitness News Sport.
EWN Traffic.
With Karabo Charlie, this EWN Traffic is brought to you by cars.co.za. Let's find what moves you. What's moving on the roads, Karabo?
Well, slowly but surely moving in the Edenville area. Unfortunately, you can expect about a 20-minute delay. This is R24 westbound. between Edenvale Road and the Gilulis interchange due to an earlier accident. Also, Boksburg accident scene N12 eastbound near Croft Road, causing heavy delays in Sandton. We still have bumper-to-bumper traffic. This is heading towards Midrand. M1 North from Athol Oaklands all the way to the Butlu interchange in the Joburg CBD. Traffic heavily backed up on the M1 South between Killarney Bains and the Crown interchange. In Soweto Pimville, we still have Chris Honey Road closed off to traffic. This is opposite Maponya Mall due to taxi conflict. And in Proteas Lane, slow-moving traffic on the N12 eastbound from the R554 Abu Bakr Drive all the way to the R558. If you come across any other traffic issues, please WhatsApp us on 072-702-1702.
There's more EWN on air, online, and on the EWN app.
8 out of 10 radio listeners suffer from CAR, or car advertising on repeat. Symptoms include fatigue, anxiety, and confusion. With so many car ads coming at you on your daily commute, buying or selling a car can feel overwhelming. But there is a cure.
Cars.coza. Whatever car you want to buy or sell, cut through the and just go to cars.coza and let's find what moves you. Cars.coza.
For more about 702,
go to primemediaplus.com.
011-883-0702. Alternatively, your voice notes to 0727021702. Tolegele is with us in the studio, and so is Karabo Charlie and the other Karabo, of course. But guys, I have a question for you, right? Especially kicking off with you, Mr. Charlie, over here. I wanted to find out. I mean, I'm having something very small at home over the weekend, right? Don't ask why you are not invited. It's very small because I don't.
Clearly.
Yeah, because this is.
We're just
because
colleagues.
no, because I'm a broadcaster. I don't have lots of money. I'm a freelance broadcaster. That's mainly why. So that's why. But nonetheless.
Yes.
Yeah, I won't mention what the thing is about, but I don't know how to tell the people, the guests who'll be coming, not to bring kids because I don't want it to be that environment where we are all tiptoeing around kids. And it brought to mind a question, be it a wedding, an event. Is it rude to ask guests not to bring their little people? I mean, at times it becomes so uncomfortable. Drinking, dancing, and just being adults. And adults can have a flavorful language at times. Why? Is it really, does it make me a bad person if I were to say to the potential guests on Saturday that, guys, please don't bring kids?
If it depends, man. I usually take my kid everywhere.
That's why you're not coming.
So be it weddings, be it funerals, I just always have him around because generally he's well behaved. I think Tolegelo can testify that.
Wow. Hey guys, also share.
But then if I'm not sure and I need to check, I'll ask you, Tabo, can I bring my kid with? Are the kids?
But isn't it uncomfortable to have kids there?
Not all the time. Sometimes you'll have a function and the person will be like, you can bring your kids. There's kids area.
He's slowing down because I picked up my head.
But Tolagele, do share.
I think it's the parents can't say, they can't answer whether or not it's uncomfortable because they've brought their kid. And as long as the kid is happy, that unfortunately falls on the host or whoever's in charge of the event. Because in as much as I want my friend to be there, how do I nicely say, this human being that I really do love, it's a white theme, and I just know how kids are. It is an awkward situation. That's why you say, friend, for this one, can it just be like adults? And then next time we'll do something else that also incorporates the kids into the situation.
But would you generally feel awkward or uncomfortable, Tolagele, if you were at a wedding and there were these two kids just running around, breaking
without
things?
fear or favor? No offense, by the way. No offense to the parents.
Well, Childline is listening. 0800 11 12 13.
I feel like if you have, let's say you have the service at church,
Yeah.
the kids, yes, they can be there, they can look all cute with
Yeah.
their little flowers. But once we get to the reception part, because also people are drinking, people want to be free.
Exactly.
And now all of a sudden, the minute you're trying to do a vosho, and then like there's a kid just running into the background, it's really, really awkward for everybody.
Yeah, and also now your kid wants to go sleep. We must just open up our bedrooms
And also
for your
sometimes,
kid.
let's say Karabo Malapila,
Yeah.
she's there with her daughter, but then she's also drinking.
Yeah.
But because Ngwana's still playing around, now
Yes.
it's someone else's responsibility to take care of the
Exactly.
kid. Now we must all stop wanting to have our adult fun,
Yes.
and all of a sudden be the community.
But there are some kids who are very, very naughty, and we must pretend they're cute and nice because this kid comes on and touches me with chocolate on their hands and all of that
Maybe
stuff. And I must
Childline should be
pretend.
called for
Oh,
you.
Wow. Oh, wow. On that note, I'd love to hear from you. Please do share wherever you're listening from. Is it rude to ask people or guests not to bring kids? But also, why do some people bring kids? Of course. I'm a parent. I understand that not every single person has a childminder and so on. I would love to find out from you, why do you want to bring a child around to an adult event? Not that kind of adult event. I mean, grown-ups event. I don't want to be misconstrued. But is it rude to ask people, don't bring your child? We will be adults having fun. Don't bring a child. Is it rude? No, maybe put me straight. 011-883-0702. Alternatively, send your voice note or your text message to 072-702-1702, 10 to 5.
702 Podcast.
On primemediaplus.com.
Well, if you live in a sectional title, you would know that you can be placed under administration, or your sectional title can be placed under administration in terms of Section 16 of Sectional Title Schemes Management Act. However, it may be a different story for Homeowners Association. We are told that may change very soon. Why, though? And what are the implications? We are then joined by Maria Constance, who is a director of BBM Law, to give us more insight about this. Maria, thanks for your time. Welcome to 702. Good afternoon.
Hello, good afternoon, Tabo. It's Marina.
Marina, please
Yes.
forgive me. People have
No
been getting my
problem.
name wrong all the
I
time.
heard.
And I mean,
I
they're
heard.
calling me John. I don't know, John and Tab, if they're the same. But I'm really sorry about that, Marina. Forgive
No
me.
problem.
Let's kick it off. I mean, sectional title and the Homeowners Association, those are two different schemes. Why then is there consideration for administration upon Homeowners Association?
Well, Tabo, more and more homeowners associations, which are for people who don't know, are these large community schemes like estates and cluster developments, we call them in Gauteng. And where you have people living in these freehold homes, which are surrounded by like a boundary wall, there are more and more issues surrounding things like director mismanagement, not keeping up with corporate governance documentation, arrear levy collections, and that type of thing. So in sectional title, there is a process to place a building under administration. It's almost like business rescue, where a third-party administrator steps into the shoes of the trustees. With a homeowners association, it's usually incorporated in the Companies Act, and you'd have to go to the High Court or you'd have to liquidate it. Whereas now, we've received advice from the advisory board, Sectional Title Advisory Board, to say that they are looking at proposals to be able to place homeowners associations under administration through a panel at the Community Scheme Ombud Service. So, I mean, it's not law. They're looking at it, and it's certainly a proposal together with a lot of other changes that are coming into the industry. So, from my perspective, I think it's a really good thing. I think it would work. My concern regarding homeowners associations at the moment, and if you're a director of an HOA and you're listening, the thing is that so much of the documentation is old and outdated. You need an MOI, a Memorandum of Incorporation. I mean, you need to look at the rules of your scheme and make sure that they actually also comply with the community scheme ombud service. So that is definitely something to take away from today.
And this just sees to it that there's proper administration and management, and you don't have unqualified people looking over the affairs of homeowners association. But also, more critically, you would have issues such as perhaps conflict of interest in the association. This is mainly, as I read it, and I'm not an expert in this at all, Marina, but this looks, it appears as though the concern mainly is for proper management of homeowners associations.
Yes, homeowners associations, I think, need to, understand that they are regulated by the community scheme ombud service. And I think it's, the sectional title schemes, you have an act which governs you, and it's prescriptive, and it helps to be almost sort of micromanaged to a large extent, whereas homeowners associations sort of they're under the Companies Act, and it's not a great vehicle to run a homeowners association. It's not that flexible, and sometimes you poach rules from the Sectional Titles Act, but more and more the larger schemes are certainly going under will be going under administration if there is seen to be mismanagement or any kind of problem where directors aren't getting on or can't actually manage the scheme. And I think we're going to see it a lot more in the future.
Currently, are homeowners associations exposed?
As in number?
Yeah, I'm just thinking perhaps to vulnerabilities that you've just mentioned.
Definitely. A great percentage, I would say. The thing is, with homeowners associations, Thabo, you don't actually have to put your governance documentation in at the CSOS, at the Community Scheme Ombud Service, to get a compliance certificate. So that's also going to change. So homeowners associations will be brought into line. But there are a large number. I mean, if I just look at, the matters that cross my desk, ancient documentation where you've got directors in place who were directors maybe 30 years ago. You've got to change all that. You've got to keep up to date, and you've got to keep your governance documentation fresh and tailor-made to your scheme, because every scheme is different.
The implications on residents of who belong to a homeowners association?
Well, again, I think that's a great question. I think the implication would really be that homeowners need to get to know the law and get to understand what it is that they need to do, what it is that their directors need to be doing, so that they can make sure that the correct people are in place as directors and that they look after the asset value of their scheme. So again, it's knowledge. Knowledge is power. And, you are in a freehold home, but there are definitely implications in the common property and financially from a levy point of view as well.
Yeah, and many would agree, especially from a levy point of view, that there have been some inconsistencies and perhaps unfairness on acting towards one homeowner as opposed to the other. And those inconsistencies need to be well looked after. But in case an administrator has been appointed, it would mean that they would take over the entire administration. Do we have a prescription as far as timeframes are concerned?
No, well, I think any interested party would be able to approach whoever it is, either the ombud or the court. Sectional title is the court at the moment, but they're looking at changing that to a panel at the ombud's office. And that would be, you would be able to apply for an administrator who would be a qualified person. That administrator would step into the shoes of the directors to the exclusion of the directors and the owners. And obviously that person would then have a time frame of 6 months, 3 months to come back to the CSOS to report on their progress. So they wouldn't be appointed sort of ad infinitum. They'd have to come back and say what they're doing to improve the situation.
Marina, thanks for your time. Really appreciate it. All the best. We should chat again in the near future. Really appreciate it. Marina Constas, who's a specialist community scheme lawyer and director at BBM Law. It's 2 minutes to 5 o'clock.
Bongani Bingwa, 702 Breakfast.
Weekday mornings, 6 to 9.
An e-hailing service driver met his death as he dropped off a passenger at Maponya Mall in what's believed to be part of a long-running feud between e-hailing drivers and local taxi operators. It happens, they've sent the message, and it does appear as if you're scared to do anything about it as this government.
We're really not scared of them. The taxi industry must understand that we are in a democratic country, and that's why we believe that we must bring all parties on the table.
MEC for Roads and Transport in Gauteng, Kiribone Diale Habele.
Bongani Bingwa, 6 to 9.
On 702.
Light the fire this game day with a winning lineup from Checkers. Like Steakhouse Classic man-size rump steak for $149.99 per kilo. Dorsland Vors for $89.99 per kilo. And Steakhouse Classic man-size T-bone for $149.99 per kilo. Light the fires, South Africa, and let Checkers do the rest. Deals valid until this Sunday, only at Checkers.
What does extraordinary mean to you?
Is it being voted South Africa's most trusted enterprise telco 2 years in a row?
Vodacom Business helps more than 133,000 businesses with AI, cloud, enterprise apps, IoT, and security. One seamless ecosystem. Together, let's build the extraordinary that sustains today and protects tomorrow. Start your journey at vodacombusiness.co.za. Further together, Vodacom Business.
Dear Journal, day 4602 of trying to be an adult. My doctor asked me how my quality of rest is at the moment. I told him I have two problems. I struggle to sleep at night, but I also struggle to awake at day.
Aggressively realizing your age? Get covered at pineapple.co.za. It's simple and like 19 Rand a day, so it's 100% the insurance for you. Underwritten by Old Mutual Alternative Risk Transfer Insurer Limited, a licensed non-life insurer and authorized FSP. Premiums are risk profile dependent.
This is EWN.
Search efforts still underway following a light aircraft crash, and a tanker accident brings traffic to a standstill in parts of Ekurhuleni. Good afternoon, I'm Bali Dlamini. A multi-stakeholder search and rescue effort is continuing in Durban this afternoon for a missing pilot whose aircraft crashed into the ocean. Preliminary investigations suggest the small aircraft was performing displays when it suddenly plummeted into the water near Suncoast Beach front this afternoon. ALS spokesperson Gareth Jameson says it is unclear if there was another passenger on board.
The SAPS helicopter, together with lifesavers and NSRI boats on the water, trying to locate the missing pilot. All necessary authorities are in attendance. However, the pilot has not been found as yet.
To an accident on the roads now in Kempton Park, the R21 South Griffiths off-ramp has been temporarily closed off to traffic after a tanker lost control and caught fire. The Ekurhuleni Metro Police Department says the accident has severely affected movement in the area. The driver and assistant driver of the tanker have survived the crash with slight injuries. EMPD spokesperson Thabiso Makgato says commuters and motorists must use alternative routes this afternoon. She says emergency service teams are working on removing the vehicle from the road.
All lanes are affected and traffic has been redirected to Tom Jones via Emerald Casino or the Griffith off-ramp, 10 left onto Jones Road, then join Roderbelt Road if travelling to Boksburg or joining the N12 East and West.
Gauteng Police Commissioner Tomim Tombeni says they are following leads into a shooting which claimed the life of an e-hailing driver at Maponya Mall in Soweto. During the incident last night, the driver of a second e-hailing vehicle was also shot at and managed to flee, while an onlooker was injured in the crossfire. Police have opened a case of murder, attempted murder and 2 counts of arson after 2 vehicles were also set alight. Mtombeni addressed the incident during a police event in Soshanguve in the north of Pretoria today.
We are following information. As of yesterday, I've spoken to crime intelligence. There is the leads which we are following, and we hope that as time goes on, we'll get into the bottom of it. But we also call.
It comes as community members continue demonstrating in large groups outside Maponya Mall this afternoon, where the initial incident occurred. They are waiting to be addressed by Gauteng Transport MEC Kidiboni Diale Tlhabela. To this now, a Gauteng top cop from Tarleton Police Station and his wife have appeared in court for the extortion and kidnapping of a Swiss national diamond dealer. Sergeant John Mutladile and his wife Yvonne briefly appeared in the Kempton Park Magistrates Court this afternoon. They face charges of kidnapping and extortion related to a 23-year-old Swiss national who arrived in Joburg last week to purchase diamonds after seeing an advert on Facebook for the gems. Oren Singh has more.
Sergeant John Motladile and his wife Yvonne stand accused of kidnapping and extorting close to 50,000 rand from a 23-year-old Swiss diamond dealer last week. The victim was held against his will at a home in Randfontein last week, where he met with a prospectful seller of 2 uncut diamonds. Motladile interrupted the sale, threatening to arrest the victim should he not pay them more than 200,000 rand. The victim was forced into a marked police van, driven to a popular fast food outlet, and ordered to buy Motladile and his wife food and drinks. He allegedly paid the pair close to 50,000 rand. Interpol raised the flag after the victim's family contacted authorities for assistance. The victim was released shortly after crime intelligence members made contact with him, scaring Motladile and his wife. The pair were positively identified by the victim on Tuesday and arrested. Aryan Singh, Eyewitness News.
And cholera has claimed at least 40 lives in Sudan's Darfur region over the last week as the country weathers its worst outbreak of the illness in years. Doctors Without Borders says the vast western region has been hardest hit by the year-old outbreak amid an all-out war. The NGO says 2,470 cholera-related deaths have been reported in the year out of nearly 100,000 suspected cases. Cholera is an acute infection that spreads through food and water contaminated with bacteria, often from feces. Gold is trading at $3,347.86 an ounce. The rand is at 17.61 to the dollar, 23.89 to the pound, 20.53 to the euro, and Brent crude oil is at $65.63 a barrel.
In Jet Park, heading towards Boksburg, there's an accident scene. There, a tanker involved on the R21 southbound near Griffiths, causing more than an hour delay all the way from the R24 split. As a result, traffic is also heavily backed up on Jet Park Road, and in Edenvale, also about a 20-minute delay heading into Bedfordview. R24 westbound between Edenvale Road and the Gilulis interchange due to an earlier accident.
In your sport, the Proteas target T20 series victory over Australia. Tottenham Hotspur condemn fans for racially abusing Matthias Tell. And Chelsea to donate FIFA Club World Cup bonus to Diogo Jota's family.
A partly cloudy Friday in store for Gauteng tomorrow. Johannesburg dropping to overnight lows of 6 degrees, peaking at 24. Pretoria 7 and 25, and Vereeniging 4 and 24 degrees. The top story in EWN this hour: a multi-stakeholder search and rescue effort is continuing in Durban for a missing pilot whose aircraft crashed into the ocean.
EWN, in touch, in tune, and independent. For the latest, visit ewn.co.za or download the EWN app.
702.
Live
On the Prime Media Plus app.
DSTV channel 856.
92.7.
And 106 FM. Let's walk the talk.
Seven minutes after 5 o'clock, you're on 702. My name is Thabo Shalemashau. I'm in for John Perlman. We're together till 6. About an hour or so to go. I have been receiving some of your voice notes and text messages based on our previous discussions. Earlier, we were having a quick chat about homeowners associations, and there's a consideration that they may soon also be placed under administration. Currently, the law doesn't allow for that, but it looks like there may be some necessary changes, especially for big estates and various associations, just to make sure that the administration of those associations is up to standard. You know what you're paying for, and everything can be justified accordingly. We had a chat with General Bantu Holomisa, the Deputy Minister of Defense and Military Veterans. We're talking about the National Dialogue preparations, the National Convention which will kick off the talks from the 15th to the 16th. And some of you felt that we should not wait for the so-called legacy foundations to participate. The talks must continue. Others are asking, is it really worth our time? But the 15th and the 16th will give us great indications as to where these dialogues will end up. I don't know what your feelings are, and I truly would like to engage you some more. We've been talking about it for quite some time. Coming up later on the show, the taxi feud turns fatal, and we saw various casualties therefrom. We also saw fatal casualties from those incidents. Soweto has been on fire, especially about this issue, but it's generally a South African problem, isn't it? Where seemingly it's about e-hailing services versus mainstream taxi services. Should we not make the circle bigger for everyone to participate? We'll speak to various stakeholders herein. And of course, as tradition on the show, much later on, we'll chat about that very important song. It's 9 minutes after 5 o'clock. Keep those messages coming through on 072 702 1702.
702.
Let's walk the talk on 92.7
and 106 FM.
I totally don't find it to be rude. They're just events that are meant for adulting. And therefore, to put it out clear in the invitation that kids are not allowed, it's one of the most perfect things to do. There's nothing that is uncomfortable as those little beloved angels that we're having running around at reception area, hands full of chocolate, touching you, and you have to pretend to be nice. No. No kids.
I'm a mother of two, and I always mention to people who are inviting me, whether to a small gathering, even if you're a friend saying, let's meet up at a restaurant, I always make it clear whether I have childcare or not. And I ask you whether that's okay with you, because I find that a lot of adult invites are not child friendly unless it explicitly says, I would love for you and the boys to come through for this and this. If it is not explicit, I always make it clear that I don't have childcare on that date, and can I bring my kid? Is it kid friendly?
Yep.
And when the person says no, I don't take it personally. I say, unfortunately, I will not be able to make it. We'll see if I can make the next one or see you another time. Gao here from Mildersdrift.
How you're 1 in a million. A lot of people would take offense when you tell them that they should not bring kids. And some people, their kids are attached to their hip. They can't move without kids, understandably so. And that's the relationship that they have with their kids. Others don't have childminders, and others just, they want their kids to get some fresh air and to go out on some outing or the other. And I love your attitude that it's not personal at all. It's because kids are not wanted in that environment. There'll be adults, drinks flowing, chats, and perhaps language that is not kids friendly. Well, I'd love to hear from you about that. In case you've just joined us, we're chatting about and asking a question. If it's rude not to have, to ask your guests not to bring their kids to your event. And Karabo Chali said, it's very rude to do so.
No, I didn't.
You said you're always with your kid.
I'm always with my kid, but if you explicitly say that no kids allowed, then I'll respect that, obviously. But if you don't, like Hao said, I'll ask, can I bring my kid? If it's a no, it's no offense.
Okay, no offense. 12 minutes after 5 o'clock.
EWN Traffic.
won't take offense if there's some traffic on the road right now, Karabo, because definitely it's peak time. This Eyewitness News traffic is brought to you by Outsurance in partnership with 702. What's the latest?
Gee, it's not looking bad in the Ekurhuleni area. We've got several accidents, huge delays. Let me start in Jet Park, heading towards Boksburg. Accident scene, R21 southbound. This is near Griffiths, causing more than an hour delay all the way from the R24 split. I understand there's a tanker involved there. As a result of that accident scene, traffic is also heavily backed up on Jet Park Road. Edenvale also expect about a 20-minute delay. This is on the R24 westbound between Edenvale Road and the Giluli's interchange due to an earlier accident. Boksburg, also accident scene, N12 eastbound near Croft Road. This is also causing more than an hour delay. That's leaving Bedford View, heading towards the Benoni area. Sandton, bumper-to-bumper traffic. M1 north from Athol Oaklands all the way to the Batlu interchange, while in the Joburg CBD, heavy delays on the M1 south between Killarney Benz and the Crown interchange. In Pimville, Soweto, Chris Hani Road remains closed off to traffic. This is opposite Maponya Mall due to protests and taxi conflict. And in Proteas Lane, there's also slow-moving traffic. N12 eastbound between the R554 Abu Bakr Drive and the R558. If you come across any other traffic issues, please WhatsApp us on 072 702 1702.
There's more EWN on air, online, and on the EWN app.
Clever late excuse number 81. You had load shedding, couldn't charge your phone, so you didn't have an alarm. Fortunately, with the Outsurance pointsman on the roads, you no longer have to come up with creative excuses for being late. The Outsurance pointsman easing traffic congestion and getting you there quickly and safely since 2005. Outsurance really means it when they say you always get something out. In proud partnership with 702, show them some love. Online using hashtag pointsmanlove. Outsurance is a licensed insurer and FSP.
For more about 702,
go to primemediaplus.com.
011-883-0702, 011-883-0702. You do know that that conflict in Soweto has been going on for some time, but just to get a little bit of context about what it's all about and where it all began, we are joined by EWN reporter Henry. No, not Henry. We'll speak to Henry Matebula a little bit later on, but our EWN reporter is Jabulile Mbata, who's been having an eagle's eye on these activities. Jabulile, thanks for your time. Welcome to 702 once again.
Good afternoon, Tabo.
It's been very serious, and I'm sure that the temperature and the tensions are very high. We had some of your reports earlier on various bulletins. What is the situation right now?
Right now, people are waiting quite anxiously. Some of them have even brought chairs. They're sitting down, some are sitting on the floor. You've got other groups of people chanting and singing. There's a very huge police presence, and the roads remain blocked. And this is because everyone is waiting for the NEC to return from a meeting, a second meeting rather, that she is holding today with industry officials. So the context behind this is that earlier on when she came, when she came to the mall, she met with some industry officials, she met with some associations, some drivers, some councillors, some activists, and then, came out to address the public. But before she could go into much detail, she was quickly turned back because what we then discovered is that the E-haling associations that she was in the meeting with earlier are not the people representing those who are protesting. So that's why people quickly turned their back and said, look, you don't really know what our demands are.
Yeah.
So have the correct people in that boardroom and let us tell you what our issues are. She then gave us a chance as the media to speak to her. And she admitted that this has been an issue that has been going on for years. She even said it's been going on for since 2011. But she's saying that she's struggling to formalize this industry, or particularly the e-hailing industry, because there is no clear leadership. just as it played out with
Yeah.
her sitting with a group of people, not even knowing they're not representing the people on the ground. So that's really the main issue. But, people are hopeful. There's like more than 100 people right now. They are waiting, they are singing, they are chanting, they are saying they want to be addressed because they've had enough, essentially.
Tell us a little bit, if you were to take a few steps back, about the taxi that was burnt down earlier today. Was that in retaliation, or was it just mob justice playing itself out?
So from the MEC and the police, we haven't heard exactly what the motive is. I know, some other police have said it could be related to taxi violence, but the MEC said to us that, the taxi officials that she's sitting in the boardroom with are refusing that claim. They're rejecting that claim. They insist they are not responsible for this, and in fact are saying that should it be found that it is one of their members, they are happy for police to take action. So she says that she's not taking sides. She's considering all the facts. She wants investigations to play out. But all that we know right now is that, there were 4 people who came out and shot at the cars, torched them, and that was it. And we've got one of the family members here saying, it's so unfortunate that this happened because the driver that died was only working for 3 days in this industry. So he wasn't in conflict with anyone. He had just started working. So we're not clear on the motive. That's what we know so far.
Before I say goodbye, Jabulani Mall still remains closed, Jabulile. They said 7 days of closure of this mall, and the communities are blaming the mall, if I understand the story correctly, for not having taken sufficient action when these conflicts showed their ugly face.
Yes, you're correct. Maponya Mall, the residents want Maponya Mall to be closed for 7 days. But as you can understand, Maponya Mall is quite a huge mall and there's quite a lot of activity. And the MEC said herself that this mall contributes quite a lot to the economy. So we can't really have it closed for 7 days. But again, that's where they left us. The two sides are disagreeing. So we don't know yet whether it will be closed for the 7 days. But one of the things that the residents were also calling for is that there is a taxi rank within the mall.
Yes.
They don't want to be there anymore because that's where this conflict sort of happens. That's where, taxi drivers get into conflict with the e-hailing services as what the residents say. So those are some of the discussions they're having now, but the MEC cannot promise that the mall can be closed or that the activities or traffic can't flow. So we
have
what
to
leave
it at that. We have to leave it at that. Thanks so much for your time, and thanks for keeping an eye on the situation in Soweto. Jabulile Mbata is EWN reporter. 011-883-0702. You could be in the area. You could want to share your view on the issues. Feel free to do so 20 minutes after 5 o'clock.
702 Podcast
on primemediaplus.com.
Henry Matebula joins us now, chairperson of E-Hailing Partners Council, on the line. Henry, welcome to 702. Briefly, you must be distraught because it appears as though the genesis of this would be the taxi outbursts against the e-hailing services. Is that the case? If not, what is the real issue?
Good afternoon. Yes, so far, I would say we are very much disturbed and saddened by what happened, and very much disappointed, to the government and even the security cluster, because this is not the first time this happened in 2023. We could be talking that who is responsible by now, but there is no report that speaks to that effect, and something of the similar nature is happening now. And will not be sure, and I'm not sure if ever there's going to be thorough investigation. However, what we are saying is that there must be thorough investigation and no stone must be left unturned.
Have you spoken to the authorities today, including the MEC, perhaps the police leadership? If so, what did they say?
Yes, I was part of the meeting that happened in the morning. And then the police, what they are saying is that they are going to be investigating. And then from the government side, they said that then the HOD is going to be working from the mall, and some of the department's officials are going to be working in the mall just to monitor the situation and to see what is happening.
Of course, we started. With apologies for that. I'm just flat out of time, but we started reporting on this after this particular incident. In the interim and before this incident, were there some significant issues between yourselves and the mainstream taxis as we know them? Were there pockets of violence? How huge was that, if there was at all?
Safe to say that there was inconsistency from the resolution of 2023 that was saying the Uber drivers will be allowed to pick up, and also further in deliberations happened between the mall and the e-hailing community, and they were given site, where they can pick up and drop off. However, now and then those resolutions will be changed. Now they can pick up after some few months or so. They are not allowed to be picking up. So there was inconsistency when it comes to that. However, there isn't anything bigger than that, that which we could say we can record that would have made us to think that this was going to happen.
In 20 seconds, anything that you feel that the taxi service can do that they're not doing right now, taxi leadership? Do you feel let down by them, especially after those talks? In just a few seconds.
I'm saying the government is letting us down. We should be having coexistence. These are our fathers. We are their sons. They are our uncles. And we're all trying to put bread on the table. So the government must work very hard to make sure there is harmony and coexistence between these modes of transport.
Henry Mathebula, chairperson of E-Hailing Partners Council. Straight to the spokesperson of National Taxi Alliance, Theo Malele. Ntate Malele, thanks for your time. Welcome to 702. Good afternoon. What's the situation like? Have you spoken to the MEC? I'm told that you have just had a meeting with the MEC. What came out of the meeting that is worth mentioning right now?
Good afternoon to you and to your listeners out there. Well, the talks have been progressive late this afternoon. We have finally found each other. The resolutions now are that the mall will open tomorrow. It will be business as usual. The e-hailing leadership that was with us has also found reason in that the mall should fully operate tomorrow, and they will be addressing their constituencies as we speak. So there is going to be, or rather, let me also make mention of this aspect, that the family of the bereaved, may his soul rest in peace, are also here to come and do their rituals. And the MEC, together with the HOD, the taxi leadership, and the e-hailing leadership, together with the management mall, are going to be part of that ritual with the family.
Yes.
So that the family's intentions are that they want to find closure to go and bury the bereaved. So we will also be here tomorrow with faith-based organizations and the community leadership.
Before I say goodbye, Ntate Malele, with all respect, apologies for the interruption. Were your members responsible for the dastardly deed that took place of an e-hailing e-hailing driver being murdered so brutally?
No, they were not.
Were they taxi owners, perhaps from a different association?
No, you cannot cast aspersions.
I'm asking a question, good sir.
No,
not casting anything.
I have responded. I have responded, and I'm responding by saying no. None of our members are responsible for that.
Okay.
And to this effect, a member of the STS Taxi Association, who happens to be a community member in the Klipspruit area, stood up and spoke to the entire leadership that they even know who this person is. They know that he's even his hometown.
Yes.
That is from Mahlabatini. He's their own brethren. They could not actually go to that extent of killing one of their own.
Okay. But you've had clashes with the e-hailing system.
Listen to this.
Yeah, I have just 30 seconds in Tate Malele. Yeah, conclude your thought.
There's fragmentation within the leadership of the very same e-hailing.
Yes.
There was power struggle a little while ago. And I think this also needs to be zoomed in so that you can begin to look at to what exactly is happening within the leadership of the very sector.
Will you start holding your members responsible if anything happens in the future? I'm not casting aspersions. I'm asking a question.
If any of our members are found to have committed these heinous crimes, they should face the full might of the law.
Theo Malele, spokesperson, National Taxi Alliance, 27 minutes after 5.
EWN Business.
With the SG of Broadcasting, Stephen Grotes, what's the latest in the world of business, finance and everything else?
Good afternoon to you, Tabo. Well, not a great day for the JSE, I'm afraid. I mean, we've had a few records over the last little while, but pulling back from that, and the JSE All Share ending the day now down 0.28% at 101,993. Financials up 0.45, industrials down 0.31, and resources down 1.25%. That's slightly softer gold and platinum prices, largely responsible for that. So not entirely surprising that we see that. Vodacom shares doing quite nicely today, and they've been up for a large part of the day. They're ending the day up 2%, but Standard Bank, perhaps the most interesting story, ending the day up just 3%. It reported its headline earnings were up by 8% in the 6 months to the end of June. Headline earnings per share were up by 10%. Corporate and investment banking, that division up very strongly, Tabo. But it's business and commercial banking division where, really you sort of get a dipstick of the economy. That was down by 5%. We'll ask Sim Chabalala tonight what he thinks is going on in our economy. Also, confirmation that he'll actually be stepping down in 2027. He'll have been in the top job on his own for 10 years by then, quite a long time with that kind of position. But also the pipeline at Standard Bank, Kenny Fickler, of course, went to ABSA. So we'll talk about that tonight on The Money Show. Truworths down nearly 5% on the day. Did say it expects to report a 7% drop in headline earnings. One of the reasons was global shipping disruptions. That basically meant clothes arrived in stores a little late in the season. As you know, Tabo, I'm absolutely no expert on this, but apparently seasonality is important with clothes. I have no idea why. Aspen is down 3.73%. Another tough day for Omnia, down 3%. And then DRD Gold, they had an update out. They're down 2.12%, while Pick n Pay and Woolies are also down on the day. In the US, we've had a sort of several days of records, but now there was new inflation figures. This was producer price inflation. So yesterday we had consumer price inflation. That was in expectations. That seemed to confirm there'll be a rate cut from the US Federal Reserve next month. But now there was a producer price inflation figure of 3.3%, slightly higher than expected. And that really is putting a little bit of a dampener on things. The Dow Jones is down 0.25%. The Nasdaq flat, but down 0.01. The S&P 500 is down 0.05 on the day. The gold price at the moment, $3,335.88. Platinum, $1,349.20. Brent crude slipping a little bit again, $66.41. The rand to the dollar, 17.64 to the euro, 20.54 to the British pound, 23.89. On the Money Show tonight, Sim Chabalala, the spamming company that is dared to complain to the information regulator, Tabo, about Truecaller, claiming Truecaller is infringing on their privacy.
Oh,
hello?
Really?
I want my cell phone back. I want to be able to answer a landline call just once more.
Yeah,
Is it too much to ask? Really? We'll be talking about that tonight. And then in investment school, how long can I go on saying markets have hit another record? We'll be talking about that tonight. I'm getting bored with it. Stephen Curtis, EWN Business.
I'll be definitely listening, Stephen, and I'm going to send a voice note to the effect on the matter of Truecaller there. We are being spammed with those calls and it's getting out of hand. 29 minutes to 6 o'clock, time for Eyewitness News headlines with... Good afternoon, Bali.
Thanks, Tavo.
For a second, your name just escaped me. I don't know why.
It's
it could be
okay.
old age.
It's
What's
okay.
the latest?
Well, Justice Minister Mameloko Kubai is calling for peace between competitors in the transport industry after an e-hailing operator was shot and killed and his car set alight in Soweto. The incident happened last night outside Maponya Mall in Pimville, and since then demonstrations have been staged at the site. The minister's spokesperson Terence Manase says there needs to be constructive engagement with all parties involved.
She says preventing people from working in their chosen trade undermines the freedoms our democracy guarantees. She extends her heartfelt condolences to the family of the deceased and wishes the injured a speedy recovery and calls for calm, dialogue and full respect for the rule of law.
This comes as community members continue demonstrating in large groups outside Maponya Mall this afternoon when the incident occurred. They are waiting to be addressed by Gauteng Transport MEC Kidiboni Diale Tlhabela. One of the three accused on trial for the murder of a woman outside the Wynberg Magistrates Court more than 2 years ago has been found guilty of the crime. Christine Gumira, who was an accused in a murder case, was shot and killed while leaving the courthouse on May 25, 2023. She was an accused in the case and had just agreed to turn state witness when she was killed, Ntutuzelo Nene reports.
Mandisi Mofu has been found guilty of the murder of Christine Gumira, while his accomplices Lukanyo Meme and Vuminkosi Vumene have been found guilty of helping him carry out the murder. All three accused were linked to the murder by the state's only witness, who identified them in a leaked CCTV footage that was widely circulated on social media. In June 2023, a man known as Andile was brought in for questioning after investigators spotted his car on CCTV footage dropping off and picking up suspicious-looking men near the Wynberg Magistrates Court shortly before and after the fatal shooting. Though he did not witness Mofu pull the trigger when he exited his car, he was, however, able to identify him as the shooter in the leaked CCTV footage. And handing down judgment today, Judge Andre Legrange said he was satisfied that the prosecution was able to prove beyond reasonable doubt the involvement of all accused in the murder. Ndutuzelo Nene, Eyewitness News in Cape Town.
And the South African Human Rights Commission will be investigating a decision to downscale the dial-a-ride service in Cape Town. It says it has received a number of complaints from users who will be impacted. Earlier this month, the city announced changes to the transport service for those living with disabilities. From the 8th of September, wheelchair-bound individuals and those with severe walking impairments will be eligible for the service. Morgan van der Rede has more.
The City of Cape Town says the decision to reduce the dial-a-ride service is due to budget constraints. It says it has sent letters to the National Social Development Department 5 months ago requesting more financial support. But it says to date it has not received a response. This is little consolation for a parent whose son needs the service to get to and from campus. Sadika Daniels says her 20-year-old son, who has cerebral palsy, will be stranded.
There's no way that I have any transport to transport him to university. How do I get my child to UWC? I mean, he goes to class every day and we need it.
She says her son has been using the service since he was in primary school. Some 2,000 ad hoc users will no longer be eligible to use the service. Chair of the South African Human Rights Commission, Chris Nissen, has meanwhile emphasized that vulnerable groups such as the elderly, the visually impaired, physically impaired and hearing impaired should be treated with equal respect. Morgan van der Rede, Eyewitness News.
In your weather, a partly cloudy Friday in store for Gauteng tomorrow. Lows of between 4 and 7 degrees and highs of between 24 and 25.
Accident seen in the Jet Park area, R21 southbound near Griffiths, still causing about an hour delay. That highway is closed off to traffic, and you can expect more than an hour delay all the way from the R24 split. Also in Edenvale, 20-minute delay, R24 westbound between Edenvale Road and the Giluli's interchange due to an earlier accident.
The top story in EWN, Justice Minister Mameloko Kubai is calling for peace between competitors in the transport industry after an e-hailing operator was shot and killed and his car set alight in Soweto.
702 afternoons.
With Relebogile Maboja, 1 to 3 p.m.
So what would you need to do with these crystals? Is it wearing them? Is it keeping them in your house, in your car? What do you do with them?
So all of the above. Different crystals will have different uses. Sometimes it's great to keep it on your body if you're looking for physical healing and emotional healing. If you're looking for things like protection, you can put them around your house and your garden. You can also wear the ones for protection as well. There is one that makes you invisible to thieves, and that's garnet. So that you can keep in your car, you can keep in your handbag. So yeah, there's little tips and tricks that are endless when you go into the crystal world.
Amy Ann Atkinson, energy healing therapist and practitioner.
702 afternoons.
With Relebogile Maboja.
Let's walk the talk.
Medical aid plans, they're normally like this.
So, you'll need to take this form and this. So don't forget this too. Okay, wait. Don't forget this one. Wait. Okay, done. My back! Sorry, sir. That's gonna have to come out of your savings.
At Bonitas, we make our plans simple, so they're easy to understand. We also offer a benefit booster and a range of other benefits that don't come off your savings. Visit bonitas.co.za when you need us. Bonitas, medical aid for South Africa. T's and C's apply.
Hollywood Bets is bringing you a bounty of prizes with Spinner Zonke prize drops. Gear up to unravel an endless supply of treasures and claim fantastic riches with a chance to win an amazing share of 2.5 million rand in cash and prizes. All you have to do is bet 2 rand or more on selected pragmatic play games on Mondays, Tuesdays and Thursdays between 12:30 p.m. and 10:30 p.m. Feel the ultimate thrill when you log in for a spin and bet now.
T's and C's apply. Hollywood Sportsbook is a licensed betting operator. Hollywood Bet supports responsible gambling. No persons under the age of 18 years are permitted to gamble. Winners know when to stop. South African Responsible Gambling Foundation toll-free counselling line 0800 006 008 or WhatsApp help to 076 675 0710.
You know what gets my attention? A man who drives the M-Zoom R-Style. Bold, confident, like he knows exactly what he's doing. That matte finish, that attitude, it's giving text me when you get there. And now he's smart too. He just saved 50,000 rands. Promo price only 439,900 rands. At that price, I might just text first. So, are you getting the R-Style or must I keep swiping left? GAC Motor, where craft meets technology. T's and C's apply.
702 was in conversation with Wits University's Professor Andrew Forbes, unpacking how quantum science has the potential to shape South Africa's next wave of innovation and global competitiveness.
The technology we have today, digital technology, digital economy, how important is that to what we do in South Africa? It's essential, right? And what we have now is we're entering a second revolution with a quantum technology roadmap. The idea is that we're harnessing science that's been around for 100 years, but it's science that now we can put down into practical technologies, things that will help us compute faster.
702 in conversation with Wits University. Visit wits.ac.za to learn more.
702. WhatsApp us on 072 702 1702.
Ashraf, listening with interest to your conversation with the guy from the E-haling Association, and he makes valid points. I think an interesting point that is missing from his conversation is us as the consumers. It doesn't sound as though we have a voice in this entire engagement. These services are intended to serve us, either taxis or e-hailing, and we as the consumers have a right to choose the most cost-effective and comfortable means of transport that we prefer. But in all of these conversations, it's about how they're affected as an industry or how the minibus taxi industry is affected. What about us as consumers? Don't we have a voice?
Ashraf, I concur 100%. 100%. Speaking of which, text message came through to 072 702 1702. It says, I don't know why, Thabo, you're apologetic about asking him who killed the guy. Surely he didn't kill the guy himself, and the only enemy of e-hailing is taxis. I was not apologetic. He accused me of casting aspersions, and I put it to him that very clearly I was just asking a question, making it very clear that I also don't know. It is a question of interest. Mpo is calling us, and I from Linden, and I understand Mpo is an Uber driver. Mpo, hi, welcome to 702.
Abutabo, how are you? Abutabo,
Yes.
I just want to be quick. In Soweto, it has become a norm where Uber drivers are now trying to avoid malls where we don't go in, where taxi drivers and taxi owners tell us we are not allowed in there. It is their malls, it is their clients. We are not allowed. For the longest of time, we were not allowed in Maponya Mall because they said we are stealing their clients. And it's the norm. Wherever they are, they want to bully us. They think they have the right to impound our cars. They are not traffic officers. Like, which laws in this republic says taxi owners or taxi associations can impound people's private vehicles? No law allows them to impound our vehicles.
Very
but they
quickly.
do it every day. Even when you call cops and you tell them, they do not help us, Abutabo. We are on our own.
Before you go, I just want to ask very quickly, pertinent to this issue of Maponya Mall. Is it your impression that mall security is not doing enough, particularly Maponya Mall? Is it your impression that they could be doing more and are Uber drivers or e-hailing drivers, I should say, being harassed right inside the mall premises at least?
My answer is easy. It's mall management. The mall management at Maponya, the mall management at Maponya, they don't see our service as critical because of the taxi association that is operating at the mall. So they don't think we also deserve to operate there. Yet they do forget that we ferry their clients that come there to shop. We come and pick them up after they've shopped. Yet people now leave the malls in Soweto to go shop in the suburbs, at Clearwater, at Eastgate, at Sandton, because they are not safe in Soweto. So now all that revenue is leaving the Kasi economy and coming all the way to the burbs. But
we have to leave it at that. I think point well registered. It's something that I'd like us to explore a bit further. It's 17 minutes to 6 o'clock.
EWN Sport.
With Twalagele Mganga. What's the latest? Good afternoon, Twalagele.
Afternoon, Tabo. Well, the Proteas will be asked to win their T20 series against Australia when they clash in the third and final game on Saturday. Devalt Brevis was named man of the match after his record-breaking century secured South Africa a 53-run win that was in Tuesday's second game. Tristan Stubbs has now backed him to continue to impress.
He tried to play a funny shot and I was like, mate, you just hit it down the ground because you're hitting it so well. So, but yeah, I've batted with him a few times. I really enjoy it. He really backs himself, and it's quite easy. Just keep him as clear as possible, and then we do our thing around him.
Tottenham Hotspur have expressed disgust at the racial abuse received by forward Matthias Tal following their defeat by PSG in the UEFA Super Cup. The North London club lost 4-3 on penalties, having let a 2-goal lead slip. And Thomas Frank had this reaction to that loss.
It was a little bit special operation because it was clearly we went in spells a little bit more direct because we knew that we could hurt them there. Big focus on the set pieces from all areas of the pitch. But we will have focus on set pieces no matter what. I think the high pressure is a non-negotiable when we went man all over the pitch in quite a few good times. So those bits that will be a standard.
Chelsea and their players will donate a portion of the £11.4 million that they received from winning the Club World Cup to the family of Diogo Jota and Andre Silva. The Liverpool winger and his brother both died in a car crash in Spain on the 3rd of July. That donation is the latest tribute paid to the pair, with Liverpool also permanently retiring the number 20 shirt at all levels of the club in memory of Jota. Over to the United Rugby Championship, which returns this weekend with New Zealand and Argentina, while South Africa host Australia. Edwin van der Merwe has impressed since making his debut in the green and gold and will be looking to do the same against the Wallabies at Ellis Park.
No, I don't think it puts any pressure on me. I think my main thing is making sure that my systems in the Springbok team, I look after that, and then obviously scoring a try is a bonus. But playing with the guys next to me who like to move the ball around helps because I like to get the ball in space. So hopefully the try scoring can continue.
And McLaren will auction one of their 2026 Formula One cars before it's even been raced. The car is one of a trio offered by the team ahead of the Sotheby's sale on the 5th of December, which takes place ahead of this year's season-ending Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. The successful bidder, however, will have to wait until 2028 to take delivery of the car. Tolagile Mganga, Eyewitness News Sport.
EWN Traffic.
Getting better, getting worse on our roads, Garabo?
I'm afraid it's still as bad as it was 30 minutes ago, Tabo. At this stage, you can still expect about an hour delay in the Jet Park area heading towards Boksburg. This is due to an accident scene R21 southbound near Griffiths. This is causing delays from the R24 split. As a result, there's also heavy delays on Jet Park Road in Edenville. Expect about a 20-minute delay. This is on the R24 westbound between Edenville Road and the Kilulis interchange due to an earlier accident. We're still dealing with an accident in Boksburg, N12 eastbound near Croft Road, also causing about an hour delay all the way from the Kilulis interchange. Katlong traffic heavily backed up on the N3 southbound between Grey Avenue and Leondale Road due to roadworks. Alberton traffic pressure N12 westbound between the Elands interchange and the Reading interchange. And finally, in the Joburg CBD, expect heavy delays on the M1 south between Killarney Benz and the Crown interchange. If you come across any other traffic issues, please SMS us on 31702. We are also on X at EWN Traffic.
There's more EWN on air, online, and on the EWN app.
702 Podcast
on primemediaplus.com.
011-883-0702, 011-883-0702. We have been speaking about the situation, volatile situation in Soweto, and I see that on my screen here, some broadcasters are showing that the community is being addressed, and it looks like the Transport MEC is also there speaking to a number of individuals. Let's see how it goes. If you are in Soweto, please prioritize giving us the very latest here on 702. You can send a voice note to 072 7021 702. Alternatively, call us 011-883-0702. I'd love to hear from you. I wonder where the mall is in these discussions. Where's Maponya Mall? You're just going to keep quiet? You don't believe in communicating with the media and sharing information with your valued customers? I mean, corporate arrogance at times gets to me. We are very harsh on the public sector, but private sector, we keep quiet as if there's nothing wrong. I wonder, Maponya Mall management, you're not bothered, you're not communicating, you're not sharing any information. Things will just work themselves out, right? Yeah, then that doesn't matter. Communication doesn't matter at all as long as people come and buy. I just don't think that's the right attitude. Come through, communicate. What do you say? Take responsibility. Millions are spent in your shops. Make sure that you take responsibility for that. 11 minutes to 6.
For more about 702,
go to primemediaplus.com.
Sitting in front of me, Refuwe is here to share a little bit about the music that we are going to play for you. As you would know, it's tradition on John's show that round about this time, a bit of music is played and you get to participate as the DJ. You get to subsequently tell us what is it that we should play next. And today, the theme is consistent, Refuwe, with the month that we are in right now.
Very much correct. We're celebrating amazing and dynamic, different women, diverse women. So the song I chose, for me, it's the epitome of a superwoman, the variety or the diversity of women. It's I'm Every Woman. Whitney Houston, Askisi. I'm Every Woman by Whitney Houston. And it's a song I love. I mean,
yeah.
Women are shapeshifters in a beautiful way.
Yeah. And so the theme this afternoon, we're playing songs about women and celebrating women. And you could have that song in mind. And yours right now is this famous classic. Let's hear it, Garabo.
Whatever you need, anything you want done, baby, I'll do it naturally. 'Cause I'm every woman, it's all in me. It's all in me. secret you can't tell. Mix a special groove with fire inside of you. Anytime you feel danger or fear, then instantly I will appear. Oh, I'm every woman. It's all in me. Anything you want done, baby, I do it naturally. I can set your needs like rain unto the seas. I can make a rhyme of confusion in your mind. And when it comes down to some good old-fashioned love, I got it.
Consistent with Women's Month, today we're playing songs that contain anything that has to do with women, girl, and that fiery power, that female fiery power. Feel free to do the same by suggesting a song of your choice on 072 702 1702.
702 afternoons.
With Relebogile Maboja, 1 to 3 p.m.
So what would you need to do with these crystals? Is it wearing them? Is it keeping them in your house, in your car? What do you do with them?
So all of the above. Different crystals will have different uses. Sometimes it's great to keep it on your body if you're looking for physical healing and emotional healing. If you're looking for things like protection, you can put them around your house and your garden. You can also wear the ones for protection as well. There is one that makes you invisible to thieves, and that's garnet. So that you can keep in your car, you can keep in your handbag. So yeah, there's little tips and tricks that are endless when you go into the crystal world.
Amy Ann Atkinson, energy healing therapist and practitioner.
702 afternoons.
With Relebogile Maboja.
Let's walk the talk.
Do you know what's hiding behind colorful packaging of unhealthy food? Big food companies target children with unhealthy packaged foods that hide high levels of sugar, salt, and fat, which could lead to heart disease, diabetes, and hypertension. But the truth is hidden from consumers. Front-of-package warning labels are a proven solution to help consumers make informed decisions. The government must act now. We have the right to know what's in our food. Demand front-of-package warning labels. Sign the petition on healer.org, HEALA.org, by 30 September.
Light the fire this game day with a winning lineup from Checkers, like Steakhouse Classic man-size rump steak for $149.99 per kilo, Dorsland Vors for $89.99 per kilo, and Steakhouse Classic man-size T-bone for $149.99 per kilo. Light the fires, South Africa, and let Checkers do the rest. Deals valid until this Sunday, only at Checkers.
They opened their doors before sunrise, stayed up late, showed up. Now they've made it to the finals of Gauteng's greatest awards with 702 and Yoko because of you. But they're not done yet. Your vote that could make them Gauteng's greatest. Go to primemediaplus.com now to cast it. Because support isn't just spoken, it's action. And your vote is a standing ovation for the Corner Cafe with the big dreams, the local legend who never gave up, the startup that's changing the game. Gauteng's greatest award with 702, powered by Yoko. Let Yoko Counter fuel your business to greatness. Go to yoko.com to explore the new point of sale solution, saving hundreds of businesses time and money.
702. WhatsApp John
on 072
702
1702.
72 landers. Just to end off a beautiful day with all the sadness that we're experiencing now lately. How about Alicia Ski's girl on fire for Women's Day? Thank you. Enjoy your evening, Ibi.
We were in the studio and I said, what does a girl on fire sound like? Apparently it sounds something like this. This is called a CP70. It's a very kind of old school keyboard. I love it very much. And this is featured on Girl on Fire. Yes. Well, let me tell you. She's just a girl and she's on fire. Hotter than a fantasy. Lonely like a highway. She's living in a world and it's on fire.
Girl on Fire, Alicia Keys, live version. Takes a bit of some few seconds to kick off appropriately. Let's take your voice notes on 072 702 1702.
Hi, Tabo. It's Ray here. You know, other song that is very, very interesting is the one by Angry Anderson. And the song title is called Winnie Mandela. Thank you.
Angry Anderson, Winnie Mandela, and the theme was about women today, the songs that we played. I have to thank you so much for indulging me in the previous 3 hours, your contributions, your text messages. I want also to thank this amazing team. Coming up next, Stephen Grootes.
And now, The Money Show.
With Stephen Grootes, live on 92.7 and 106 FM. Streaming on the Prime Media Plus app.
And DSTV channel 856.
The Money Show with Stephen Grootes is brought to you by ABSA CIB, equipping you with efficient and secure cash management solutions for your business.